listeners, and welcome back to Dragon's Greed Gaming. It is I, your host, the Great Unclean One. Wanted to welcome you to the show and just take a moment here to remind you, be sure you stop by our Facebook page and follow us there for all the latest news on the channel and our ever-growing amount of shows. If you can, we appreciate if you can stop by iTunes and Apple Podcast, give us a 5-star review, help us grow the channel, and help us get out in front of more people as we continue to expand. Also, be sure you stop by our YouTube channel. We've finally got some real video content we're starting to produce, and be sure you subscribe and hit that little bell to get all notifications when we have new episodes coming out. We're still putting out all of our actual play series, but we've got real video series coming out as well, with more planned for the future. And finally, if you're a big fan of the show, if you want to help support us a little bit more, consider joining our Patreon, Dragon's Greed Gaming. We have a couple different tiers you can check out. Get yourself access to early access to our weekly episodes, monthly artwork from Kyle, get your name up on our Wall of Heroes wall, or check out our Patreon-only exclusive actual play series that we do once a month, a Warhammer Fantasy actual play series called Tales from the Old World. Something there for everybody, and for a couple bucks, toss a couple coins in the Dragon's Hoard and help us out. But however you choose to support us, we appreciate, even if you're just listening, first-time listeners, new listeners, or old veterans, old raving fans. We appreciate each and every one of you guys, and hope you enjoy tonight's show. Thanks so much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It is us, Dragon's Greed Gaming, and you are joining us for episode 3 of Blade Runner Electric Dreams. Very, very quick recap here. Last we left, 2 of our characters had taken some downtime as we had gotten into the 4th shift of the investigation, evening of the first day. Garrick Johnson and one of our replicants, Hector, had taken some time off to rest and recuperate, while Hallbeck and our other replicant, Violet, decided to work into the evening. Violet, in particular, stressing herself and straining to try to get more done in the limited time it feels like you guys have. And Hallbeck ended up having to go back to the Kill Magazine office after getting a call from Deputy Chief Holden to try to put a stop to the story that they were going to be releasing. He managed to convince the editor there, the publisher, Skylar, to hold off on publishing the story the next day, but in return, he owes Styler some juicy information for a story. And Styler promised that if he does not get that, he's going to make life not too easy for our Blade Runners here. Violet, on the other hand, went to Anemoid Row to try to track down information about the blue butterfly jar that you guys had found in Leah's apartment. And you discovered, after doing a little bit of looking around, a shop called the Aurelian, which appears to sell a variety of different type of butterfly anemoids. We got some information from a young man there that was closing up a shop called the Dragonfly, and he explained he had recognized a picture of Leah that you had shown him, told you that he had seen her go there, and he also saw someone that matched the description of Styles going to that shop as well. He explained a bit about the owner, and he also mentioned that there are Esper cameras in the area that might be worth looking into. So I think we will finish off, or start off, I guess, with Violet as she finishes up for the night. It's late. It's probably past midnight at this point, and you are extremely tired and worn out, and it's probably time to get some rest, unless you feel like pushing yourself even further into the morning.
No, I'm definitely going to start heading back to my apartment to get some sleep and probably take a shower. But on the way, I will pop open comms to Hallbeck and the rest of the guys if I can reach them. Kind of update them.
Well, that depends. Do our other two characters who are currently on downtime answer this call, or do they even hear it?
Garrick probably would hear it, and he'd just let it go to like voicemail.
Yeah, I'd be slamming my phone off personally, but
Yeah.
okay. How about Hector?
Because it's kind of a toss-up. If I was in the middle of an arm wrestling competition, that really only requires one arm, so I could answer the phone with the other arm and
All right, high or low?
not the guy. Hi.
Good call. I rolled a 97. You can answer the call if you so wish.
Sure.
All right, so you've got everybody except Garrick. He does not answer when you call.
It's all right. So, went down to Anemoid Row. Most of the shops are closed up, so probably wasn't such a great idea to go so late. Now I'm beat. I'm going to head back home, but maybe we can link back up in the morning. There is a shop that our girl Leah was seen leaving, looking for a guy named the Aurelian, specializes in these bugs. I'll kind of show, if I can, link to the store
Okay.
so they know which one it is.
Yep.
Also reports of seeing our tall friend there, Styles. And that's about all I have to say. They have any questions for me, I'll stay on the comms, but
Styles is the guy from the bar?
Styles is the guy that we saw outside the bar, intercepted him, ran away from us, but we're able to interrogate a little bit and found out. Well, I guess Kyle, did you briefed us on what happened with Skylar, right?
Yeah.
I forget if we role played through that, so we know a little bit more from him that, he could have been part of the instigation of the fight.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, again, I don't feel confident that Leah's going to come back there necessarily, but she had been there at some point, and I'm curious as there is more to this insect. Is it just a pet, or do they serve another function? The other thing we need to check is the Esper cameras from the area. I don't know if there's a time limit on when that footage gets destroyed, so maybe someone can hop on that. If you need help.
You all know it's 24 hours before stuff gets overwritten.
Okay.
I could come in the morning, but if it's footage from right after the murder we were looking for, that would be overwritten by tonight.
Yeah, it depends exactly when. You'll be cutting it close.
But
That's what I got.
two of us are up in the morning. One could shake down the Aurelian, and one could check the cameras. Unless we think they'll all be there, in which case, might want to have more of a show of force.
I don't feel like they would be there. I could be wrong. Might want to keep it a little clandestine and not, make our presence super known so they don't know we're on our trail. I already talked to 2 people that know we're snooping around there, so might want to keep a low pro. That's just my opinion, though.
I would agree. So hopefully one of you can check in the morning, and we'll head back to Anemoid Row when everything's all open.
Sounds like a plan.
I'll give you a call when I've got a little shut-eye.
Sounds good.
All right. Violet, you make your way back to your apartment. And what kind of apartment does Violet call home?
That's a fantastic question. I believe I have a mid-grade apartment. So it's
forgot what we rolled.
let's double check this. Sorry here, but I believe it was mid-grade. So it was like probably the standard that most people get. Huge but dilapidated old apartment in an abandoned building on Retirement Row with leaking ceilings full of debris. All right, I'm wrong. It's worse. It is. It looks much more like where what's his face found Pris, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, you make your way up the flight of stairs, weary from the day's trials, and you get home. And what do we see when you open the door? What does the inside of your apartment really look like? I mean, it is bigger than the standard apartment. It's just obviously in bad shape. But take us on a small tour.
I think you walk in and immediately get hit in the face with some leaky water, which causes me to grumble. And I think there's kind of like a big fan in the ceiling, so maybe like this apartment was butting up against like, maybe part of the building's inner workings. And so there's, some cool light that kind of comes in through there, and it's, sort of the beginning of morning. So I think there's that ambient glow that comes from morning coming up when you should have been asleep, but you're, just putting your head down and you just kind of feel all off. I think, I have pretty sparse furniture. There's nothing that's not broken. Let's say that. I think Violet doesn't spend a whole lot of time on housekeeping. And her spouse is a little bit older, and he might be a little bit infirm to not be able to keep up with everything as much as he used to. So
yeah, so when you get in, you see that Sully is like asleep in the chair that he has, watching the very old dilapidated TV that he's managed to get his hands on. Looks like he's fallen asleep to, one of his favorite movies, probably waiting for you to get home at this point. Tell us a bit about Sully. What does he look like? Who is he? What did he used to do?
So Sully is my spouse, my husband, and he's a little bit older, and he also used to be a detective. And the thing about Sully is he sort of rescued me from an incident, and we sort of have this relationship where it's a little bit like father and daughter in a weird way, and whether or not he is not really like I would say like sexually interested in replicants, or however it kind of goes. It's sort of I think like an asexual relationship, but
Okay.
he is he tries to guide me a little bit, but at this point it's to the point where it's smothering a little bit, and it's often brings us to fights, mostly where I think Violet just bounces and goes on her way. But she still owes a lot to him. She still cares about him, and she still tries to keep this place together, and food on the table, as it were, since he's retired.
Would it be safe to say that the marriage was more of like a way for him to try to keep you safe and protect you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you see Sully. He's asleep as you come into the apartment, and you said you're gonna go hop in the shower.
Yeah, I'll take a moment to kind of cover him up, or make sure he's comfortable, and kind of be quiet as I can so I don't wake him up, because just kind of want to.
Give me a stealth check.
All right. Very good. All right. 1 sec. Oof.
Oh wow.
3
successes.
Successes.
Okay. Yeah, so you're able to get him tucked away, and you do not wake him. You manage to get the TV turned off and make your way into the bathroom to take a shower, and you're able to get all of that done without making any sort of noise. You've probably grown accustomed to kind of sneaking around to avoid any lectures or arguments, and it seems this is one of the nights where you're lucky enough to not wake him. And yeah, your night goes by relatively uneventful after that. You get some much needed sleep. And when you awake in the morning, he is awake. Looks like he's making some breakfast. I meant to ask, was he a detective or a Blade Runner?
Let me see if I differentiated. I think I didn't want it to be so on the nose, so I think he was just a detective. Oh no, I did write a retired Blade Runner. I'll keep to what I wrote.
Okay, all right, I couldn't remember.
He was a Blade Runner.
Okay, so we see him. He's again, you've got a big apartment compared to most. So you do actually have a small kitchenette in here where he is preparing something. And you come out of the bedroom and perhaps sit down at the table in the kitchen, or the little table you guys have, just a little crappy thing that has enough room for the 2 chairs. And you can see he doesn't turn to look at you or anything, but he clearly hears you, and he says, "Long night."
Yeah, I probably should have gave in a little early. Now, working on this homicide case. I have a weird feeling it's replicant on replicant murder. And I kind of detail a little bit that, looking into a 2 Blade Runner replicant unit that was trailing another murder. One of them got shot inside a nightclub. A whole bunch of people saw it, but not exactly what happened. So, trying to trail this lady, Leah. You know anything about Lilith? Is her last name Tyrell or no?
It is Tyrell, yeah.
Know anything about Lilith Tyrell?
So he listens. You can tell he's listening. He doesn't really take his eyes off the breakfast he's making, but he's listening, and you occasionally see him nod his head or give like a grunt of, yes. But other than that, he doesn't say anything until you're done. And then when you are finished, he says, "Yeah, I know a bit about her. She inherited the Tyrell Corp after Tyrell was murdered, and, well, company didn't do so well. Eventually they declared bankruptcy and sold everything off. Wallace picked most of it up quietly. Next thing we knew, they were in charge of all the replicant stuff. There was an attack on her too. Some people think it was the replicant underground tried to assassinate her or kill her. Blade Runner managed to intervene and stop it, but I heard she got pretty fucked up in that."
Any idea what she did with herself after losing the company?
Nobody really knows for sure. She seems to have fallen off the map, but did you see today's paper? And he kind of jerks his head off to one side, and you see that there is a copy of the paper that I think we had given to Hector yesterday. I think you guys all have access to it. And you see there's an article about her on the cover.
Oh shit. Let me take a look.
Looks like she's one of Wallace's golden girls now. Memory designer.
Let's see here. Nexus 9 replicant launch, a resounding success. Wallace Corp multiplies production. Looks like there's a whole bunch of stuff here to read, though, but it's probably important. You want me to read it out loud here?
Whatever you'd like. The thing that says Rising Star of Memory Design, that's the part about her. So that's, below the picture of your favorite NPC.
This bitch, I'll say as I go through it.
Amazing.
Quality of our product speaks for itself. We have a grand total of 0 Nexus 9 models convicted of a crime to date. I laugh at that, but don't explain why. All right, Rising Star of Memory Design.
He probably actually does kind of scoff or laugh at that as well. Just knowing all the politics around things.
Good. So it says, what would the Nexus 9 replicants be without their memories to keep them obedient? The rising star of N9 memory design has an unlikely comeback story and a unique pedigree. When rogue replicants killed industrialist Eldon Tyrell back in 2019, his niece and confidant Lilith Tyrell inherited his empire. Her reign was as tumultuous as it was short. She spearheaded the launch of the new Nexus 8 models without limited lifespans, followed by a backlash with replicants being declared a threat to human existence and hunted down en masse. After rogue replicants triggered the massive blackout in 2022 to wipe out all records of them and the subsequent prohibition of all replicant production everywhere, Lilith was attacked in her office by members of the replicant resistance movement. The plot was thwarted by an LAPD Blade Runner, but the Tyrell Corporation crumbled due to the prohibition and soon went bankrupt. Its assets sold off to the Wallace Corporation. After over decades spent in obscurity, once replicants were again approved for use on Earth in 2036, Lilith Tyrell appeared again in Los Angeles, setting up a business as a contractor for the Wallace Corporation. She designed memories for Nexus 9 replicants and quickly made a name for us. God damn it, I knew it!
He says, what's she got to do with it?
I think she implanted her memories in this Leah model.
Could be. You talk to her?
No, but we're going to.
At this point, he has finished making the breakfast, and he brings over 2 plates. One that he puts down in front of you, and one that he puts at the other chair. He sits down as he kind of sighs as he sits down and takes a breather, and he just starts to kind of play with his food a little bit.
How you feeling today, champ?
Oh, I'm fine. But, a call last night would have been nice.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got caught up in trying to chase this lady.
Yeah, how many times I gotta tell you? Gotta be careful out there. Especially, being a replicant and all. And a Blade Runner on top of that.
I know. I'll try and be better.
You see that he looks like he's about to say something else, but then he just maybe bites his tongue and just kind of eats the food in silence as you kind of look over this newspaper and probably pick at your breakfast too.
Yeah, I'll kind of keep reading it.
All right. Well, you do gain a point of resolve back for doing your downtime and resting. So that's good. Meanwhile, we'll switch it on over to Hallbeck. So Hallbeck, you are finally at your breaking point here, especially after dealing with Skylar and all the threats and the chief. So what are you gonna do?
Originally I was gonna say go to the cemetery, but instead we will be making it back to the apartment in the financial district.
Okay, and what kind of apartment does Hallbeck call home?
Hallbeck is in a very luxurious penthouse in the financial district that was left to him from his parents. So his dad is passed, and his mom is actually off-world. So it's just him at this very, very nice penthouse, very not very furnished. Doesn't have much in the way of personal effects.
Does he have a bed, or is it one of the pull-out beds out of the wall?
No, he does have his own bed, but yeah, he owns about 3 of the same kind of suit. Has about 1 set of everything, just to make things simple. So Yeah, there's not much to look at in the place.
Okay. And what does Hallbeck do when he returns?
I think the first thing he would do would be to grab a shower, switch out, probably get into the next day's suit, and after probably catching some shut-eye, he would head down to the bar on the first floor.
All right. Well, you do manage to get some shut-eye after a refreshing shower. And however, your shut-eye is cut a little short as there is a knock at your door early the next morning.
Oh, interesting. I think Silas would have his sidearm with him.
Okay.
And saddle up. Do the doors have basically a viewport?
I mean, I would assume one as nice as yours must have one.
Yeah. So let's actually yeah, why don't we check really quick?
You see the familiar face of your sister standing at the door.
Silas would let out a very exasperated sigh and put the piece away and open the door and just kind of extend his arm out as in like a, well, better come on in.
And who do we see on the other side of this door when he opens it?
So Silas has a sister, Lissa, and she works in animoid research. So she's got a nice, decent paying job. Unfortunately has a bit of a drug habit to kind of sustain her work ethic. So on kind of a lot of uppers. And unfortunately, Silas and his sister do not get along too well. So their relationship is a little strained.
What does she look like?
She is probably about 3 inches taller than him, so probably skirting around 6 feet tall. Very wiry, and very kind of messy brown hair that's pulled back in a very messy ponytail. Just like, think of the most worked out, pre-med student
Mhm.
type look. And yeah, has developed a little bit of a tremor.
Okay. Is she older or younger?
She is the younger sister.
How old is she?
She's probably in her late 20s, because Silas is in his late 30s.
Okay. You open the door, and Lissa gives you kind of a awkward, tense smile, and she walks in after you extend your arm out, and she says, "Good to see you. What's going on?"
Lissa. What happened?
Nothing happened. I can't come say hi to my brother.
You never come say hi to me unless something's happened, so can we just not go through that and you just let me know what's going on?
She gives a kind of a equally exasperated sigh, kind of rolls her eyes, and she crosses her arms and leans up against the wall. And she's kind of looking down at her feet as she speaks. She says, I was, I was just hoping I could, maybe just borrow a little bit of, Chinyan. Yeah, I'll pay you back. And she kind of looks up at you, like, kind of, like, with her, like, her tongue, kind of, like, on her teeth. Kind of, like, tensely waiting for your answer.
Is this just gonna be how it is every time I see you? Is just for a handout?
Well, hey, you don't ever come by my place now, do you? When's the last time you stopped by to see how I was doing?
I know how you're doing. And the last time, every time I try and talk to you about what's going on with you, you push away. And so I stop reaching out.
She looks down at her feet again. Looks like she's not sure what to say to that.
Silas would kind of sigh and very sharply reach for money to hand her. And as he was doing so, would just before she would reach out, he pulls back and says, "This is the last time before we have that talk, okay?"
She just kind of nods, kind of her eyes darting between your hand holding the Chinyan and back to your eyes.
Yeah, and Silas would hand it out.
She takes it, puts it in like her front jeans pocket, and she says, thanks, I appreciate that. And she stands there for a moment. There's this awkward silence between the two of you, and finally she goes, so how are you doing? What's going on? How's work?
Silas would kind of lift his head up a bit as if to, like, have something click, and then would turn to her and say, "What do you know about Anemoid Row?"
There's a lot to know. Anemoids of all types you can find down there. Why?
How about the Aurelian?
Well, let's
And
see what she knows.
as he's asking, he would be like making coffee.
Okay. She says, I've heard of his shop. I've heard of him. He has a shop by the same name in Anemoid Row. Specializes in butterflies. I heard he's one of the best. Been around for a long time. Just like, has it got something to do with the case you're working on?
Yeah, we're trying to figure out the importance of butterflies. Her place wasn't. We're casing a suspect's place, and there wasn't much in there, but what stuck out was a couple of blue butterflies. So
She asks you to describe them more.
Ooh. I mean, so would Silas, would it be against regulation for him to show her the photo of the butterflies?
I mean, it could be considered in some cases, but, it's also not like a graphic piece of evidence or anything like that. I mean, it's like if you showed somebody, a picture of like somebody's pet, like, it kind of kind of teeters the line.
Okay. Well, yeah, he would think about it and then just show her.
She takes a look at it. She goes, "Wow, pretty. Yeah, these look pretty convincing." I mean, animals and and things like that. Everything has different symbols, but could be something specific to the owner. Maybe they just like the way they look.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, that's what most people just get an animoid for, is because we don't have real pets, so it's the next best thing.
Right.
And butterflies would be easy to take care of, even if they were real. Not a whole lot to clean or feed.
Yeah, Silas would be kind of just nodding along, listening.
Yeah, she looks at the picture a little bit more, but she doesn't really have much more to say other than those sorts of things. Without any other context, she doesn't really, she's not a butterfly expert, so. But she can instantly tell when she looks at it that they're animoids and not real.
Okay. Yeah. So Silas would kind of put the evidence away and just kind of give her a mug if she wanted it, and turn and start grabbing his things and say, well, I better get back on this. Good of you to stop by, say hi.
She says, "Yeah, thanks. Thanks." And you can tell she's kind of mentioning both the coffee and the money. And please deduct 1 point of Chin Yen from your character sheet.
So sad.
But you will get a point of resolve back if you were missing any. Because you did manage to actually get some sleep, and your interaction with Lissa was not as terrible as you thought it might be.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Meanwhile, as as you two have slept through the morning shift, we'll switch over to Hector and Garrick. So it is morning the next day, so shift number 1 of day 2, and the two of you are up and ready to go while your companions are taking a break. What is it the two of you are going to do next?
I guess I'll start by filling Garrick in on the call from last night and sort of the details of Styles and potentially Leah going into the Aurelian, and that we may or may not have a lead at the Esper Wall. If we can find footage of them there, which might be erased. If we do split up, though, I guess would it be possible, if the Esper Wall is a bit of a dead end, to pull information on what the Blade Runners were doing the night of the what their job was?
Yeah, you could potentially access that through the mainframe, which could be done at the same time as going through the Esper Wall. 2 things I want to point out for the two of you. Garrick, you would have official word that your request to get access to the Wallace Replicant Records database has been approved.
Right.
And if you would like to, you can go to Wallace Corp and they will let you have access to that. Second, the bullet fragment that you recovered from the crime scene should be done being processed at this point, so that you could check up on as well.
Okay.
That could also probably be done at the same time if somebody stays here to work the Esper Wall in the mainframe.
Well, Hector, I'll take some time at the LAPD, look at the mainframe and the Esper wall while you go mingle with the regulars, I guess.
I can check out the shop. That sounds like a plan.
All right. Let me know if anything comes up.
All right. Well, we'll start with Garrick as Hector takes off and makes their way to elsewhere.
Okay.
So
cool,
you're
cool.
here. Where do you want to start?
I guess we'll check the Esper wall.
All right. I will need a promotion point, and then I'm going to need a... you can make a tech roll with advantage to access, but because the Esper wall is restricted, you have to spend a promotion point to get access, basically.
Can I give a call to Silas and ask him to get me in?
You just want basically to have him spend one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if I can
Yeah.
do that from afar, absolutely.
Well,
I mean-
I mean, it'll probably take a little time, but considering it's a whole shift worth of work, we can assume that maybe he can do that. Unless Matt, you got something?
Yeah, I was gonna say I've got to pay it forward. I could use the promotion point this time,
Okay. Yeah.
and since I'm up anyway.
Yeah, that'd probably be faster because keep in mind this is while him and Violet are asleep,
Right.
resting. So, okay, yeah. Regardless, as long as somebody pays a promotion point, you can have access. Not a big deal. You guys are on the same team and on the same case, so I don't think it'd be that big of a problem.
Okay. I will roll a tech test with advantage. I'm gonna push that because
No successes.
yeah, it's rough. It's rough.
Oh, and he
Super
takes
cool.
a point of stress damage or resolve right off the bat with the reroll.
Doing
No successes. So Garrick, you search and search for hours, and you realize after probably an hour or two of just pulling your hair, the footage has probably been overwritten at this point. You're like maybe within 30 minutes of like the time that it would have been overwritten.
Shit. All right. So then needed to check out the bullet fragment or the casing. Well, it's a caseless shell, I guess.
Yeah. So that's you can go down and talk to Coco if you'd want, because it'd be down in the crime lab there. So
Yeah. I'll go see our very professional looking Coco.
all right. We get down back to the crime lab, and he is sitting at a table. He's got like a microscope that he's looking into, and you see that the cat, the LAPD cat Biscuits, is lounging over on a table nearby, keeping an eye on you sharply as you walk in. Coco looks over his shoulder. Ah, good morning, Garrick. What can I do for you? I suppose you were here about the bullet you brought in yesterday?
Ding ding, Coco. That's why I'm here.
Well, it appears it is as we expected. It is a 44 caliber caseless round, and I can pretty much guarantee this came from a blaster.
All right. There's just Sean asking Chris. There's no way to tell like who was given which ammunition, right? They don't have like
Not unless you had the weapon that
Serial
this was
numbers.
fired from. Then they could test to make sure it was fired from that gun. But all he can tell you is that it's the type that a blaster would use. And you do know that the ammunition that the LAPD blaster uses is pretty unique, because your blaster has 3 firing modes.
Mhm.
And so the one that he's referring to is the basic ammunition that you would use if you're trying to kill somebody or put them down.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it's it is a revolver in a sense, but it's a special type of ammunition. And he says, yeah, it definitely came from a blaster, either here or potentially from a third-party source.
Coco, did we ever recover Sanders' blaster?
Yes.
Is there any way we can test to see if his blaster fired a shot?
Oh, I've already done that. Come on, no.
So,
Not that night. Not recently.
all right, then
The gun was still full. No expent casings or anything like that.
All right, then it's looking like Leah, or at least Leah's gun, shot Sandor.
That's a
Grim
troubling thought.
Yeah, let's not spread that around.
Of course not.
All right. Well, was there any I guess blood on the casing, the shell casing?
No.
Okay, so there's no way to make sure that this is the bullet that killed Sandor.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I'm no firearms expert, so I don't know if, in reality, if there would be. But if there is, or if there would be, then yes, there's blood and it matches Sandor.
Okay.
It's definitely the shot that killed him.
Yeah, it is the bullet. Okay. I guess that's all I needed. Thanks for your help.
Good luck. I hope it's not what we think it is.
Me too. So he'll leave and he'll try to sort of almost pet the cat.
Oh, it takes off as soon as you start walking towards it, and it disappears down the hallway.
Damn, she really does only like you.
I've been trying that for a while. I'm fortunate enough she stays in the same room with me at this point, but...
All right, well, you take care, and then he'll go back up.
All right. Was there anything else you were going to check while you're here?
He would like to try to find out what case Leah and Sandor were working on.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Okay.
Would it be possible to use a connections, talking to various people in the department?
Yeah, because you might not necessarily have access to their case files, depending what they were working on. So, yeah, give me a connections roll, and we'll go from there. Okay, one success.
Not gonna push that.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to find as another person that'll give you access to that, or it's probably in the mainframe or something like that. And being Blade Runners, their stuff is restricted, so a regular officer, beat cop, probably would not be able to have access to this. However, you yourself being a Blade Runner and also being assigned to this case that they're part of, you definitely would have access to this. So you do find that they were... It's mostly general information, but they suspected that there was some activity from the replicant underground going on through or at the snake pit. And it seems like that's why they had been there several times, was to basically investigate, stake it out, follow up on that sort of thing, and see what was happening. There's probably a few notes about suspicions or what they suspect might be going on, but there's nothing nothing hard or certain in the notes.
Okay.
Or it's possible they have notes elsewhere that you don't have access to, or you don't know where they are, or they stored somewhere else, or maybe just kept it in memory. But
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. They don't have a desk or an office I can rummage through? Or that's probably where I'm finding all their stuff?
Yeah, it's pretty basic.
All right. And can I look up where Sanders' apartment would be, where he lives?
You could, but I'll just point it out. It has nothing to do with this investigation.
Never mind.
So we'll break the wall there for that. Yeah, there's nothing to find there.
Okay. Well, last thing he would do is he would ping pretty much everybody and just let them know. bullet casing we found came from a blaster, and it looks like it came from Leah's. So if you see her, be careful. Don't want to add another Blade Runner to her list.
Okay. Well, as this is going on, Hector, you hop in a spinner, and where exactly are you heading?
I think I was gonna go straight down to the Anemoid Row
Gotcha.
and check out
Okay.
the Aurelian.
All right. Well, we'll go back to this scene here then. So, another dreary day in Los Angeles, 2037, as you make your way through the quote-unquote sun rising upon the city. It's still foggy and hazy, but it's not dark. It's just, or it's not night. It's just dark. And you make your way over to Anemoid Row, where we saw Violet land the previous evening. And now we see a much more busy area of the street. Traffic congesting the street itself, metro cabs taking fares to and from this area. You see plenty of people bustling. The food stalls are filled with steam and heat rising off of them as they're preparing meals and breakfasts for people. And you see many of the shops beginning to open with their signs being turned on, and various people opening the doors, opening the blinds, removing the security shutters, just like if you were at a mall and it was beginning to open. Kind of a similar scene here. What do you do when you get here?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to casually walk up and take a look at the Aurelian. Sort of like, I guess, mill about, say 7-star prawns, and see if anybody goes in or out the door, or if it's just open, I'll probably.
It is open. What you see is if you zoom in on the map, you can actually see what the sign looks like. It's right here. It's a vertical sign from top to bottom. At the top, there is a digital butterfly in like a blue hologram type look. And then beneath that, vertically going down, is a variety of, I believe it's Chinese lettering, which labels it. And then underneath that, you can't see it even if you zoom in. It's really hard. But just beneath that, it says the Aurelian in English. And that and the Chinese writing are all in red letters. And that's sticking off the side of, that part right there. That's sticking off the side of the shop, just above the door. And it is open. You can see the sign is on. It's lit, and you can see that there's a light on inside the store as well.
Sounds good. Well, I'll hop on in and see if anybody's manning the shop.
Okay. Yeah, what you see when you get inside is just a small, pretty simple looking store. And you walk in the main door here, and immediately to the left of the door is the front window. You can see that there is the front desk or counter, and then along the three walls are a variety of shelves, all filled with a variety of different species of butterflies in various jars of various sizes and styles. And you can there's a chair behind the main counter, and in that chair you see that there is an older looking man who is here. And let me give you his profile picture here. Make sure it's the right one. Yeah, okay. So you see a older looking man. He is bald with a very wrinkled, furrowed brow. He's got very thick, white, gray, bushy eyebrows. Just a little bit of hair on his chin and under his lip. Very, very close shaven. Skin's a little bit darker, as though perhaps he's had a very heavy tan, and he's wearing a tattered black with white pinstriped suit jacket with a white dress shirt underneath and a kind of a dilapidated red bow tie. And you see that he's sitting there at the chair. He's got his hands up on the top of a cane that he's got in front of him, and he turns in your direction when you come through the door. But you can tell it doesn't seem like he's really looking at you, but looking in your direction. And you can see as you get closer, it looks like he's probably blind. You see his eyes are very heavily cataract with that kind of milky white look, and they don't really focus on anything in particular as you walk in. You just hear him go, hello? Can I help you?
Morning, sir. I was wondering about a particular species of butterfly. Or more, of course, an anemoid, but there's just a coloration pattern I had seen that really captivated me, and I was hoping to learn more about them.
Oh, well, you've come to the right place. Please come in.
Thank you. I sort of like amble up to the counter and then hold my hand to my chin for a bit. I was hoping originally to just show him a picture of the other butterflies.
Okay.
And now,
Well, keep in mind, you don't know how blind he
like-
is. He
I
might
guess
be
I'll
like
give it a
totally
shot.
blind, or he might be able to see something, you know.
yeah.
Keep in mind, even if you're quote unquote legally blind, you might actually be able to see something up very, very, very close, or with a microscope or a magnifying glass. So it all depends.
It's like a friend of mine had purchased these, and I'll show him a picture from the.
So you hold out your key or whatever,
Yeah.
and you can tell that when you hold it out, he obviously doesn't see it, but he realizes that you're probably showing him something, and you see he kind of fumbles around with his hand trying to find what you're showing him, and then assuming you let him, he can feel it, and he kind of brings it up really close, and he says, "You'll have to excuse me, my eyesight isn't what it used to be," and you can see that he's looking very intently, squinting his eyes. And he says, "Can you describe them to me? That often helps."
Yeah. I'll actually like take a quick look around the room to see if there's anything on the shelves that would be a shortcut.
Yeah,
That sort of
definitely.
thing.
You see a couple things that look pretty similar, if not identical.
Oh, these sort of blue speckled sort. Like the ones in this corner. On the third row?
He says, "Oh, you must be speaking of the blue morpho butterfly."
Yes, those.
He says, he actually kind of makes sure that you have whatever you're handing him. He like puts both hands on it to make sure you've got it before he lets go. And then he gets up and, he's using the cane. He doesn't seem like totally crippled or anything, but he's definitely using it a little bit as he walks over to one part of the store. And he looks up at that and he says, "Yes, right here. Yes, these were the largest butterflies ever. Usually between 5 to 8 inches in width at their widest point. Beautiful creatures, vivid, iridescent coloring. They have tiny microscopic scales on the backs of their wings which reflect light. I've tried to capture that in my work, as you can see.
Quite
It's a shame we don't have them around anymore."
They were the largest, you say. How big?
As I said, about 5 to 8 inches in wingspan. And he, as he holds up the jar, he says, "My renditions here should be more or less accurate. Maybe give or take an inch or so, considering." And he kind of points at his eyes.
Yeah, it's quite impressive work you've done here.
Thank you. Would you care to buy one?
Well, I believe I might, but before that, I had a couple other questions.
Sure.
This friend of mine, uh, honestly more of a coworker, has gone missing, and I was wondering if she had come through here. Sort of, maybe early 30s, short red hair. Kind of like continue through Leah's description.
It doesn't ring a bell. I mean, I do get a good amount of foot traffic here, though, so especially with my eyesight, I can't really keep track of everyone.
Of course. That's fair. What about, well, actually, kind of out of character here. Do I have a recording of any of the conversation with Styles that I could, like, play, hey, this is his voice. Do you recognize this guy?
Which conversation are you referring to?
Literally any conversation with Styles. I just,
I
just
don't-
like as a,
I don't recall anyone recording any conversation with him, and there was...
I don't
So,
think
no.
that explicitly happened, but yeah,
no.
there just was the casual
No,
one.
no one specifically said they were recording him, so I imagined they were not.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I don't think I could really describe him in a way that would be helpful. I guess, can I, like, snoop around for, like, a upstairs, a secret passage or something like that?
Sure. Give me an observation test, please.
That's, not that bad, actually.
All right, 2 successes. Okay. You're looking around, and you do not see anything of the sort. You don't see, like, a back room, so to speak, or like a hidden latch or anything that would make it look like there's something above. You could tell these buildings all have probably apartments and such above them, but it looks like this particular shop doesn't have access to something directly from here.
There's one other angle. I'll ask him, sir, he seemed to have something of an affinity for, I suppose, what some might say artificial life, and can certainly see the beauty in it. Would you perhaps be able to help a replicant who has fallen on tough times?
Oh, I don't quite follow what you mean.
Well, it's hard to say. There's a lot of strife in the city, and sometimes people are just looking for a place where they can feel safe.
I wish I could, but my only comfort that I can offer is my work here. Sure, I've sold to a few replicants in my time, but that's about the extent of my charity.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your time. I think I'll have to return. I think I'm getting a call, and I pull the Kia out, and walk out the door, and phone into Garrick and be like, I'm completely flabbergasted as what to do out here.
Yeah, you can call him when you're outside if you want.
Yeah, I think I'll do that. I need
Alright.
to bounce some ideas off of some.
So
Hey,
Garrick,
Hector.
perhaps as you're getting ready to bash the Esper wall in.
Stupid fucking keyboard never type. Oh, hey, Hector, what's up?
Hey, yeah. So I'm calling in. I've talked to the proprietor of the Aurelian. Quite a nice fellow. Completely blind, it seems. And I'm not really sure what would bring Leah or Styles into this establishment. It's quite lovely, the animoids that are out here. But he just seems to be a nice fellow, a talented craftsman,
Yeah.
but not necessarily particularly sympathetic to replicants or
Well,
nothing interesting over here. I might
if he's
shake down
blind,
the other doors.
yeah, if he's blind, does he have like cameras in there to make sure people aren't stealing?
That's an interesting question.
He does not. You did not see any cameras.
Okay.
I did to take a good look around. I would
Um,
imagine they're just sneaking past his poor blind
Well-
eyes into some secret door. But
when I looked through Sandor and Leah's previous case, they were looking into information on possibly the replicant. It was like a replicant underground, right, Chris?
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Sandor and Leah were looking into the replicant underground, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, maybe when people ask him about replicants, he doesn't act like he cares, but maybe this is a front for the replicant underground, and Silas was coming here because he's part of it, and Leah came to inspect it. Unfortunately, all the Esper Wall footage seems to have been overwritten at this point, so I can't really tell you anything about that, but yeah, I mean, that's maybe it. Maybe as a part-timer who comes in and helps.
I mean, it seemed like he was the guy. He knew what was what in the shop, and you know, this is all very confusing.
What'd you
I
find
guess-
out about the I guess the butterflies?
Well, the butterflies are a large morpho butterfly, one of the largest of its kind. Extinct, as you might have guessed. I think that was about it.
They have like something about their scales, or they have like scales for wings or something.
They have little scales, microscopic scales on the back of their wings, which reflect light and make them kind of shimmer.
Right. Well, I mean, if he doesn't know anything and he can't really see people, might be a good cover. Maybe want to scope it out later at night.
Perhaps. I'll take a look around some of the adjacent shops to see if they have seen something else.
Yeah, maybe ask around, see if they've seen specific people going into that shop.
Yeah, it's something. I'm out here anyway.
Chris, would Garrick be able to to try to scan not the previous time before when Leah and Sandor were, or not Sandor, Styles might have been there, but in the last like day to see if he sees any footage of suspicious people going in and out of the butterfly shop.
Yes, you could. Give me another tech at advantage. Won't make
Okay.
you spend another promotion point, we'll assume. You still have access.
Okay, I'll give this a shot. Fuck.
No
Brutal.
successes, folks.
I'm gonna push that. I'm gonna take at least a point of resolve, but if we can
Yep.
get a success here. There we
Oh.
go. Another point of resolve taken. Love to see it.
Man, that's how we started off, dude.
Bro.
You're getting your ass whipped by a computer right now.
Yeah, he's a people person. He's not a computer person. Alright. Well, that's it for me.
Yeah, you don't find anything as you spend some more time furiously punching in commands and getting, data not found, access denied, no data to be examined, data
Yeah.
overwritten.
He's just doing breathing exercises, squeezing a stress ball until it explodes all over the screen.
Please specify parameters. Please specify parameters more. Hector, what else would you like to do while you're here?
I guess I'll just go next door and talk to people in, let's say, animal memories.
Okay. And what are you asking? What are you trying to find out here?
It's a great question. I guess I don't know if I could like casually float what it's like being next to the the Aurelian.
Give me
hot
a
types coming in and out.
connections roll,
Okay.
and then tell me specifically what you're trying to do or find out or ask. You've got one success. Are you happy with that, or do you want to push?
I'm gonna leave that, I guess. No,
Okay.
I'll push one. Okay, cool.
Nice, two
So
successes.
good too.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess what I'm thinking is to ask around and see if there's any unusual activity like late at night next door, like caused any sort of noise, or how busy is it generally? Like people buying a lot of butterflies out there?
So you go next door, and the shop owner is a middle-aged woman, probably like in her mid to late 40s, and she, as you start talking and asking her some questions and things like that, maybe show her some pictures or something like that. You got a critical success here, so that's good. She says, "Well, no, nothing like that. The Aurelian mostly keeps to himself. He keeps a pretty quiet shop. He does get a good amount of foot traffic, though. I would say he's probably got some more of the popular things here on Anemoid Row. He's got some of the best work. I mean, anybody who's around here has heard of him or knows about him, and he's been here forever. But I've never really seen anything suspicious or anything like that. But I do recognize this woman in the photo, referring to Leah. I've seen her a couple times in the last weeks. I've seen her a few times coming there. I know she left at least once. She had purchased something. And I've seen another man too come and go, and she describes a guy that sounds like Styles. I don't know if he's a friend or a relative, maybe a son or a nephew or something like that, but I've seen him come and go.
Oh, that's interesting. He doesn't seem to purchase anything though, does he?
Not that I've seen.
Okay. Well, that's good to No. I don't suppose you share any customers. They've never come in here for anything.
Oh, well, we get plenty of window shoppers who are making their way down the strip, so yeah, all the time.
Okay. I guess I kind of out of character. Would I know what Animal Memories does? Like what their deal is?
This doesn't give me a description, so I'm going to assume that this is a type of shop where you can have memories made for your animoid so that they react in a specific way, or perhaps recognize you even more as their owner.
Yes. Okay.
That
Yeah.
sounds fittingly Blade Runner.
Sounds right. Probably a waste of money for somebody keeping butterflies.
Yeah, you're not sure how that would work with an insect.
Oh boy. Okay. I don't know. I don't feel great about like trying to lean on a blind guy any harder than that. They can just be popping in and out. But for what purpose? It's a mystery. They've been in and out in the past week. It's a struggle over here. Okay.
Garrick will give Hector a call back.
Okay.
Bring, 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 bring. Hey, Hector,
Oh, yeah. Hello.
can you buy one of the, I guess, butterflies that Leah had?
You know what? I might be able to afford one. I suppose I'll give it a shot.
I can front you the Jinyan if you need.
It'll just be a single Chinyan point.
Okay.
Because these are specialized, and he does have kind of a reputation that he's really good at this, so we'll just assume it'll be the equivalent of one Chinyan point worth of money.
Yeah. Let's give it a shot.
Are you buying one similar to what Leah bought?
Yeah, I'll pop back in and say, sorry for the interruption. My
Quite all right.
called me. But yeah, as I said earlier, I think it would be nice to purchase one of these for myself, the Morpho.
Excellent choice. And he goes over to the wall, and even though he can't see, obviously he's very acute of what's around him in the store, and it's almost like he isn't blind as he gets up there and he reaches and gets one, and then he brings it over to the register, and he begins to very carefully wrap it in kind of that nice, almost like tissue paper that you have for gifts, and then he puts it in a small bag, and it's got the symbol of his shop on the side. And then, you exchange, and he gives you the receipt, and he says, "I appreciate your business, sir. I hope these bring you a little bit of color and peace to your home."
Oh, thank you. And I'm gonna scoot backwards and look at the shelf where you removed the thing and do a little once over.
There's nothing there. It's just an empty shelf.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your time.
Well, do come back again. It's been a pleasure.
Have a good day, sir.
And I assume you depart Animoid Row at that point?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna... Well, maybe I'll just sit at one of the tables with my stuff at the moment and
Okay.
watch the door angrily, hoping that the case will fumble into my lap
All right.
until someone calls me later.
Well,
Breakfast or whatever it. Let's
yeah,
say
so you...
not the prawns place, Crown Noodle.
Okay. what you do see as you sit down, you eventually get your food, you're eating, and eventually, as you're kind of, getting about halfway through your meal, you look up from the table and you see like across the sidewalk, you can see there is a hooded figure that appears to be staring in your direction. You see a very tall man with a black hoodie pulled over his head, and it looks like he's trying to be nonchalant, but you can tell that he's looking in your direction.
Okay. He's just looking at me. I'm gonna like, for a quick beat, continue eating, and then, I guess push the bowl down the counter and see if I can like walk through the normal thoroughfare to get slightly closer to him, casual.
Yeah, as you do, you can definitely tell that he's watching you and paying attention to you. And as you start to walk towards him, he puts out a cigarette and he starts trying to casually walk away from you and kind of blend into the crowd.
Okay. I think I might escalate here and
Open fire?
no, not that much. Quickly try to catch up to him. I
Give
guess.
me a observation as he's actively trying to, hide amongst the crowd.
Don't try to use a shortcut.
We're not in a chase. Just...
Oh no.
Okay, this is opposed, if you'd like to push that.
Yeah, I'll push. Woof. All right. Well, that's where we're at.
Okay, so you take a point of resolve. However, you are a replicant. You can push a second time if you'd like.
I don't think that's gonna help anybody.
Okay.
Man, we are just not rolling well tonight.
So you try to follow him through the crowd, and you round a corner, and you think that you've lost him. You're looking, and you just don't see anything. And as you're kind of standing there looking around, you, someone like bumps into you from the side as they're walking past you from behind. And, kind of like where someone like walks into you with kind of like their shoulder. And you're not sure if it's accidental or if it's on purpose, but it feels pretty rough when they walk past you and hit and kind of bump into you.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna spin around and see if I can look at this person.
Well, they come from behind you, so they walk past you, so they hit you as they walk past you, and they keep going. So now they're in front of you, walking away, and you see the guy looks over his shoulder and gives you a real dirty look, and keeps walking.
Oh, it's just some guy. Or that I can see their face.
Yeah, he gives you a scowl. He, he's also got a hoodie on, probably like trying to keep out of the rain and such, but
I don't know. All right, I'm gonna shout at him. Yeah, you got a problem, Mac?
He stops and looks over his shoulder, and he says, "What's it to you? Maybe just get out of the fucking way and stop lillygagging around."
What do you mean lollygagging? I'm making a good pace here.
You're
Where's
walking
the
around.
fire?
You've never been outside before.
It's
Dipshit.
not raining. Where's the fire?
And he starts to walk away.
Yeah. I'll make a rude gesture. And I guess just like walk briefly in a random direction, hoping that I'd bump into somebody, and then just call it a day. Not a day,
So
but
he notices the rude gesture, and he actually comes back and he's like, "You got something to say, buddy?"
yeah. Just watch where you're going, bud. It ain't hard. You've been walking all your life, presumably.
He gives you a very violent shove to the chest.
You don't want to start that, my friend.
Oh no? Why is that?
'Cause I'll put you in a headlock and give you a terrible haircut. Then what'll you tell your coworkers the next day?
All right. So, without warning, this guy takes a swing at you and cracks you right in the jaw. You're not expecting it. Yeah, I don't see anything specific here, so I'm just going to assume it does 1 point of damage. So you
Sure.
take 1 point of health damage. Well, he didn't get a critical, so criticals don't matter. Okay, yeah, we'll just say you take 1 damage as he strikes you across the jaw. And then he takes off.
Oh, what? Just a sucker punch and run away? I'm gonna try to sprint and tackle him.
Okay. Give me a mobility test, please.
Exactly my strong suit. Ooh.
Would you like to push?
I don't know. There's like a pretty good chance that I will go down if I push this and blow it. So I think I'm gonna let it go.
Okay. So you chase after him, and he makes his way around a corner down an alley, and he's actually not as fast as he probably hopes. You're able to keep up with him. You round the corner down the alley as you're chasing after him, and eventually you actually do kind of catch up to him only because he comes to a dead end, and you know, there's like some dumpsters at the end of the alley, and he stops, and then he looks back over his shoulder at you. You've got him cornered.
Alright. I think I'm gonna tackle him.
Okay.
Start with that.
So this would be a hand-to-hand, and this would be like a grapple. So the way this works is you're going to make your attack roll here, and then we'll start combat after this goes down. So, so in this game, if it's opposed, because when he struck you, you weren't aware, you weren't expecting that, so it was unopposed. But normally, close combat is an opposed test, and so you both roll your close combat, and whoever rolls more successes wins and does damage. Now, instead of doing damage, you can do other stuff, like knocking people to the ground and grappling them and things like that. So let us first roll our opposed test here, and let's get a little bit of fight music going. Go ahead, make your roll.
Starting with some hand-to-hand. Oh, pretty good.
Okay, so 3 successes.
Wow.
He rolled 2. So you do beat
okay.
him. You don't do a critical, because you have to do at least 2 or more to get a critical. So you can either hit him with an unarmed attack, or you can do like a special maneuver. So you can start a grapple if you want, or you can knock him to the ground or push him, basically like to another ranged bracket. Or if he had something in his hand, you could like knock it out of his hand or wrestle it away from him.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start the grapple and then just kind of wrestle a bit.
Okay.
Be like, what's your problem, guy?
All right, so please give me an initiative roll here. Let me put you on the map. He has a 5, you have a 9. So this is, I don't know why it's making you go first, because in this game it's just like Alien. You draw a card 1 through 10, 1 being the fastest. So they're actually going to go first. And I believe all he can do is try to break the grapple. Yeah, so he has to try to break the grapple. Alright. Now, the benefits here, if you are still grappling him on your turn, the only thing you can do is either let him go or make another grapple. which either means you can try to do a special attack, like knock him to the ground or something, or it counts as a melee attack, but he doesn't get to defend himself because he's restrained. But he's going to try to break out here, so it's going to be another opposed hand-to-hand.
All right. What do we got here?
So you kind of shoulder tackle him a little bit, and he grabs you, or you grab him, and now he's obviously trying to break loose here. You have
One success.
one
here.
success. He has 2. So he manages to basically throw his arms out, and you kind of stagger back, and he gets ready to start to fight you. And you see a wicked smile come across his face.
Wicked.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. He doesn't draw a weapon or anything yet.
He does
he?
not. Give me an observation test, please.
I got 1.
You notice out from the shadows
Oh no.
behind you, 2 more figures emerge. One of them you do not recognize. The other one is the person you were chasing. It is Styles. And we're going to add them to the initiative as well.
Oh boy.
We'll keep it the way that we were going. So Styles is last. He's got a 9. Or I guess a 10, because there is no 9. Yeah, that's weird.
Oh, do we go up in numbers?
Well, 1 goes first. I don't know why it's not
It
working.
definitely
because
doesn't think that
No,
in
because
this tracker.
it
It's going the other way.
it works in Alien like that. Anyway, so you notice the one guy that's come up behind you. He like draws out a switchblade, and Styles has like a bat that he's clacking into his open palm. Or choice coming here, detective. And the one guy is going to lash out with the knife. So you can make an opposed close combat roll here as you try to defend yourself.
And would that also be hand to hand?
Yes.
Cool beans.
Okay, do you want to push? Or are you happy with 1?
We'll try for 1 this time.
Okay. It is a tie. Oh, if there's a tie, no one is hit. And only the attacker can push. Okay. Well, so he takes a stab with the knife, and you manage to basically grab him by the wrist and keep him from shanking you. However, the other replicant who was fighting unarmed, he's going to try to grapple you, and I'm going to give him advantage because you are outnumbered right now. You can attempt to defend yourself. Okay. Are you happy with that? One success?
That seems like maybe a good one to push. I'll give it a shot.
Hey.
2.
All right. Another tie. This guy comes up behind you. He gets his arms around you, and you basically like give him a headbutt with the back of your head and knock him back so you're not restrained. And then it is your turn.
I guess I'm gonna call out to Styles. It's like, come on, aren't we all friends here? No need to resort to violence. We just need to talk.
We've done enough talking. You stuck your nose in too many places. And you see he's getting ready to swing that bat at you.
I'm gonna, I guess, punch the guy with the switchblade, and I guess that's it. I'm gonna punch the guy with the switchblade.
Go for it. Okay. He is gonna try to fend you off with the knife. Okay, he only has 1 success though, so you do get past him and you do a point of damage. You crack him. score a good hit, but he doesn't look like he's anywhere near finished.
Nice.
Styles then runs up with the club, the bat, takes a swing at you. Okay, so you actually beat him with one. You duck under the bat, and you manage to give him a good punch to the gut. So in this game, whoever wins, with defender or attacker, they do damage to their opponent. So he overswings, and you strike him in the chest, right in the gut, and he lets out, you know, you can hear him like kind of lose the breath for a moment. But then we are back to the top of the round, and it looks like these guys are not about to let up. And the one with the knife comes back at you again. Oh my god.
Crit.
Please roll.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Oh.
No, there is a crit, but it is from Hector.
My god.
As I don't know why your token says Matt. That's not right. Somehow, this guy rolled 3 1s.
Oh, brutal.
So you actually will score a critical here. Well, let's do this. Did that work? There we go. So you do a point of damage because you're using a damage 1 weapon, and then for every extra point you can do another point of damage, and you score a critical here. Oh, here we go. Unarmed. It does 1 damage. The crit dice is equal to your strength. So what is your strength value?
I have D12.
Oh
God damn.
Okay, so the way criticals work in this game, unlike in Alien, criticals usually don't happen because you got dropped to 0 health. They happen because you get a critical in combat. So since you have two successes more than he does, you score a critical. So he's going to take 2 points of damage, and then you're going to roll a d12. All right, so you're going to do critical injuries, crushing. So there's crushing and piercing damage in this game. This is obviously crushing because it's a blunt object. Yep. So this is the charts are from 1 to 12 in this game. So having a d12 means you could potentially get a really good score here, depending what you roll.
Okay. So I can, I think, just hit roll, but if it was a lower die, well, we'll figure that out later, I guess.
Yeah, I don't
we go.
know. Oh, you can change it in the when that window pops up.
Oh, is that what this is?
Nope.
No.
I tried rolling and it didn't work. Oh shit.
So
Alright.
I rolled broken fingers.
Okay, so broken fingers. So it's not fatal, obviously. This is a thing that it would take a week to heal. And it gets disadvantage to firearms and hand-to-hand combat. So he comes in again with the knife, and you grab his wrist, and you basically just fold his fingers back. There's an audible crack. He shouts out in pain, drops the knife, and yeah, you've done that to him. Can I put this on his character sheet? Oh, you can. Excellent. Okay, perfect. All right. However, you have the other replicant to worry about, and I've lost my initiative tracker here. There it is.
Guys, are you sure you don't just want to talk?
Replicant number 2 is gonna take a swing at you, but this guy's unarmed. Actually, you know what? At this point, he's gonna pull out like a small club and try to like hit you over the head with it because he realizes you aren't fucking around.
What, are they fucking around the whole time? Damn,
You'd think they are with these rolls.
gotta learn to read people better.
All right, go for it.
Alright, here we go. Oh,
Wow, 3 successes. Not only do you beat him, but you get another critical. He only has 1 success. So 2 points of damage, and please roll me another critical. Nobody told me you were fucking Bruce Lee over here.
This
I
is
didn't
a
realize
great
this main
movie.
stat was strength. Jesus. Why did we put you on tech?
Right? Concussion. Okay, what does this do?
Dude, you're like fucking Daredevil.
Disadvantage to observation and tech. Okay. So this guy takes a swing. He comes up from behind you and tries to bring the club down on your head. As you do, you catch his arm over your shoulder, and once again you smash the back of your head into his face, and he stumbles back holding his head as he's clearly stunned by that. And it is now your turn.
Alright. Well, I guess I'm gonna try to go for Styles and I guess hit the bat out of his arm.
Okay.
It's like a disarm sort of thing.
Yeah, well, you can, since you're unarmed, you don't really have to call that until you hit him.
We'll see what if I just eat my own lunch right off the bat, like with a roll like that.
Oh, that's not great.
I'm gonna push that. Okay, that's a lot better.
Okay, so you have 3 successes, but so does he. As you try to grab the bat, and he basically pulls it out of your reach, and then he kind of like jabs the back of it at your hand and kind of knocks you back. So nobody takes any damage there, but he looks like he's ready, and then he's gonna follow up. All right, go ahead.
Oh yeah. More rolls. Here we go. I'm gonna have to live with 1 here.
Okay, so he beats you by 1. You're going to take... What is this? 2 damage as he hits you, like, in the side, like, between your shoulder and your elbow. And he hits you pretty hard there, but it could be worse. You know, he's getting ready for another swing. He's like, "You had enough yet, Copper? I told you stop sticking your nose where it don't belong." And you can see his 2 friends here are not as confident as they were perhaps a few minutes ago. But he looks like he is still ready to keep going.
Replicants gotta stick together. I need to know what happened to Leah.
All right. Well, the one guy with the broken fingers picks up his knife in the other hand, but he's at disadvantage now because he's using his offhand and his fingers are broken. Now let's see if it does this automatically, because it's showing on the roll that the broken fingers are here.
Now, it says here that if somebody picks up something from the ground with an active and standing enemy at engaged range, that's one of the triggers for a free attack.
Oh,
so
okay. Then yeah, he probably wouldn't do that. He'd probably just punch you.
I guess either way, it's just us rolling close combat attacks against each other. It's not like...
You know what, though? I'd also say that'd probably be hard to do because you're fighting them 3-on-1.
There is also that, yes.
So I think he'd be able to pick it up and not get the attack for opportunity because there's 3 of them. Oh, it just automatically makes me roll disadvantage. Okay, well, here we go. All right. You tie. So he takes a swipe, and you manage to dodge it. Maybe cuts your suit jacket a little bit, but he doesn't hit you. The second replicant comes in a little stunned, but still trying to hit you with the bat here. Nothing.
I'm gonna... Oh, wait. Can you push if you're the defender? How did that work?
No, you cannot.
Okay, so I guess I get to eat this one.
Yes, and he has 3 successes.
Oh, God.
So you are going to take 4 damage and a critical hit here. And his critical is a D10.
Well, if I'm at 4 health now, does that have further implications?
You are broken, so let's do the critical. It's showing 2d10. I don't know why. Let me see here. Because I think there's...
Yeah, if you have additional successes, it escalates it.
Oh, that's right. You get to roll multiple and pick the higher one.
I think that's what it is, yeah.
Okay, so I have to roll 2 crits here. Okay, so 2d10, 2 of them. I don't know why it's saying styles. Oh, because I have his token selected, that's why. Okay, so we have 3 broken fingers and 3 broken fingers. So your fingers are broken as well. I'll put that on your character sheet. You should see it on your combat tab now. And you are at 0 health, which means you are broken. And I believe that means you fall to the ground in a state of semi-consciousness.
Sick.
I know you're not gonna die. Okay. If you drop to 0 health, you are broken by the damage. This means you fall down or taken out of action. You can crawl and mumble through the pain, but you can't perform any other actions, and you can't roll for any skills. You can't go below 0 health, but each further attack that causes damage triggers an automatic critical. So, this guy gets a great swing in and smashes it right down over your hand, breaking some fingers, and then takes another swing and hits you in the chest, and you fall to the ground, collapsing in pain, and you see these guys standing over you, starting to kind of swarm and close in on you like wolves, and everything goes black as you pass out, and I think that is a perfect spot for our break. We'll be right back, folks.
Son of a gun.
I'll see you guys for the next game that we do
Matt,
in a few weeks.
why
that
did you
was
not just shoot
awesome,
them?
Matt.
My aim is terrible,
Oh,
and my
no.
strength is pretty good.
Bro, he was fucking killing
No,
it.
he was dunking on them, but like
Yeah.
it's 3 versus 1, and he's doing 1 damage a hit.
Yeah. It was pretty funny, though. I was definitely picturing you like Daredevil just fucking beating some face in Crime Alley or
Yeah.
Hell's Kitchen.
Need to get you like one of those nightsticks or stun batons.
Oh, yeah! That can be your next thing. You can get some fucking batons.
Yeah, like a riot shield and a baton. Just go in.
Oh, dude.
All right, folks, we're back. What a cliffhanger break we had there. So, we are now into the second shift of the day. It's afternoon on day 2 as Violet and Hallbeck, you guys finish up your breakfast, you're meeting with your sister, and you guys are ready to head back and rejoin the group. What do the 2 of you do?
I'd probably call Hallbeck and check in, see where he wants to meet up. Hey, morning. Anything exciting happen?
No. Nothing exciting at all. Why don't we meet at the station? We'll figure out where to go from here, or from there.
All right. 10-4.
Okay. You guys gonna go meet up then?
Yeah, I'll hang up and I'll get ready and I'll head out.
Okay. We'll assume you either meet up with Garrick or you get everybody on a group call as you guys are making your way towards the tower. Garrick, you're finishing up. You've just gotten off the phone with Hector not too long ago, as he said he was checking out the Aurelian. And yeah, what did the 3 of you guys do once you reconnect?
Well, Garrick would bring him into, I guess they have like a private office they can talk in.
Sure. Yeah.
So, boss, Violet, we checked the shell and that we found at the crime scene, the snake bit. It definitely belongs to one of our guns, and Sandor's gun didn't have any shells missing, so looks like it's Leah's. We can pretty much guarantee at least her gun killed Sander.
Okay.
The last case they were working on had to do with the replicant underground. So, currently Hector's out at the butterfly shop, trying to drum up leads, see if anything from Leah's apartment, those butterflies matches, or we can get anything.
Okay.
You hear
How long
back from him at
that-
all?
I mean, I talked to him like 20 minutes ago. He should be fine.
Ah, okay.
All right.
What's your next moves?
Did we hear anything?
Investigate Lilith.
Did we hear anything back from Wallace Corp about anything into this Styles guy?
Yeah, the data's available. Just have to go and take a look at the records.
Okay. Maybe we'll have somebody do that. And... Let's see. I'd say we should look into this, into the memory designer.
I think Lilith is our biggest lead right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's going to be at the Wallace Corp necessarily, if she works out of there. Really don't know much about her.
She's a private contract, as far as we know.
Yeah.
Well, we can ask around. The Wallace Corp should be able to tell us, right?
Something gives me the feeling they're not going to be so helpful.
Probably not. But if they implanted human memories in Leah, or one of their prime memory designers did, gotta try to find out why. So what do we want to do? Who wants to go where, I guess?
I'd like to go to Wallace Corp. But I don't know if I'm the best one to speak to Miss Quell.
Garrick, I would point out that you're the one that made the request for the records. So
I should
you
go.
would assume that you at least should go, because if you send someone your place, that'll probably cause problems.
Okay.
Or delay things as you get it all straightened out.
Right. Well, since I put the request in, I'll probably go with, We can talk to Quell and take a look at the records all at the same time.
Well, Violet, I wonder if you follow up on Lilith. Be wherever she is and go pay her a visit.
Well, presumably she'd be at Wallace Corp. It's where she works.
Sorry.
Anyone
Makes sense, yeah. This all tracks.
we should tell Hector where we're going. Maybe you can meet up with us.
It's probably more that. Not dead, unconscious.
Not dead. There's like 37 unconscious
Well,
going on.
No way.
Listeners, Hector's token is just showing how unconscious he is right now, which is very.
So one thing,
Oh, go for it.
Sandor and Leah were investigating the replicant underground, and then a big ass guy we think might be a replicant made contact, and Leah shot Sandor. Kind of thinking at this point she might be part of the underground.
But she might also not. She was wigging out, so to speak. I mean,
Right.
we can assume that she did shoot him, but it might have been involuntary.
Well, I mean, those baseline tests are to make sure that you replicants aren't getting overly emotional, right?
Yep, and she failed about 3 of them and was recalibrated, so there's
Right.
something wrong with her programming.
Or she's just feeling lots of emotions, like maybe she should join the underground.
It could
Hard to
be
say.
too.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, hard to say, but
but
those
yeah,
would be my 2 theories.
If we see her, though, she might shoot us, so be careful.
We should assume she's dangerous. Absolutely.
Yeah. Alright, let's buzz Hector, see if he's got any leads or anything good happened.
You get no response when you message Hector or try to call him up.
That's weird. I'm just having a real bad time with all this technology today. You see his office, there's just a shattered keyboard on his desk.
Must have been playing WoW.
Yeah, that goddamn new Ray just can't beat it. It's not answering.
I'll maybe give him 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Do we want to swing by and scoop him up? Or leave him a message to meet us there?
Well, I mean, he took a spinner, so he should be good to get there by himself, right?
Yeah.
Give him a little bit of time, you know. He should answer.
Okay, so what are you guys going to do? Who's going where? Who's doing what?
I think Garrick and Violet are going to Wallace Co.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I heard you guys mention something about Lilith Tyrell.
Well, presumably she would be at Wallace Co., right? So we kind of want to investigate her, talk to her, see if
So
we can
you
meet her.
you guys know, according to the article and what you've learned so far, is that she works at a memory lab designing memories. And it also says that she's a contractor for Wallace Corporation. So you guys would all know enough, or you could easily look up that she has her own memory lab called Lilith
Okay.
Memory Labs that you could go visit.
Well,
She doesn't work on site at Wallace Corporation.
So I'd say Violet should go there then.
All right.
yeah, that sounds right.
Where's Hallbeck? Go?
Garrick, so Garrick's going to Wallace then.
Yeah.
And then Hallbeck is going to visit the chief.
Okay. Well, you guys part ways, and we'll stick here in the LAPD tower as you make your way up to the floor where the chief's office is. And once again, you walk past the secretary. I forget her name. I think we called her Jenny earlier.
Okay.
And she says she sees you and gives you a wave. She says, "He's in there. He's in a bit of a mood."
Silas would take his hat off and kind of nod at her and just walk in and shut the door behind him.
Yeah, you see that he gets off the phone and he slams down on the button to end the vid call that he's on, and he looks at you once again, wheezing. What is it, Hallbeck? Make it fast. Hope you got something good to tell me.
Look, Chief, this Skylar guy, he's gonna be trouble. I bought us time, but you know, he's sitting on this powder keg. And you know, the more we investigate, the more it's looking like it could possibly be true. And this would start everything all over again with these people.
Tell me something I don't know, Hallbeck. Why the fuck are you here in my office telling me this?
I think Silas would sit down and start fidgeting with his hat because he's kind of dancing around the notion that you know, Skylar is the type of guy that might have to be told to be quiet, and he's not sure he's hit that level yet.
Well, what do you say to the chief? Because he obviously
Oh.
looks pissed and annoyed that you're here and not out solving the case.
Yeah. Look, Chief, you said to keep you updated, so that's the biggest deal right now. Is I got to keep tabs on this guy.
You still got a Kia that fucking works, don't you? Send me a goddamn message and get your ass back to work.
He'd look at the chief.
I got Quell asking me where the fuck you guys are. I heard Garrick put in a request for something, and then he isn't even there. What the fuck are you guys doing?
Garrick's on the way right now.
Yeah, he should have been on the way 6 hours ago. Do I have to hold your hand and do your fucking job for you? Get out!
Silas would.
I said get out!
Yeah. He'd walk out.
And he gets up as you leave and he slams the door shut behind you. And you see Jenny goes, afternoon, detective.
He'd put his hat on and tip it towards her and walk out the rest of the office.
Okay. And what are you going to do for this shift?
I would once again try and hail Hector.
There's no response.
I mean, is there like like a GPS or whatever on his spinner or his person?
Probably on the spinner, I would imagine. You'd probably just have to call up dispatch and put in a request for them to track it.
Okay.
Garrick did tell you that he was at the butterfly shop on like wherever that Animorph.
Well, I mean, he would start headed out that way, but he would still put in a request to make sure.
I don't think so. I think that's something simple enough for basic security. It would seem weird to me if they didn't. So, yeah, I mean, you know where he went, and you would have the location of the spinner itself, so you can see exactly where he landed it.
Okay.
All right. I think we will start with Garrick hopping in your spinner and making your way to the oppressive, dominating form of the Wallace Corps HQ. Once again, going through some checkpoints into that same underground garage that you went to before, and being led by what you're guessing is the same replicant who met you guys the first time, and then bringing you up to to meet with once again everyone's favorite NPC, Miss Quell.
Miss Quell.
She is once again dressed very nicely. She's in a different outfit this time. Looks much more like business formal, like perhaps she's got a meeting or something to go to. She's got her hands gently crossed in front of her as she's kind of clasped as she's standing waiting for you.
Yeah,
Detective Johnson, so nice of you to join me.
Miss Quell, pleasure's mine.
Your request made it seem like this was urgent, yet here we are waiting. I'm beginning to doubt the sincerity of your efforts to get this case solved in a timely manner. And after she says that, she turns and indicates for you to follow her as she...
Wonderful.
You're not sure if she expects an answer or not.
No, he doesn't give an answer, just accepting the reaming he's getting from both his boss and this person.
You quietly walk down the halls, your footsteps echoing. And after a few moments in silence, she says, "Nothing to say. No excuses or reasons."
Plenty of reasons, none that would probably make you any happier, so.
On that we can agree. I'm a very busy person here, Detective. I made sure that your request went through. You stated that it was urgent, and seeing as how urgent this case is to us here at Wallace Corporation, I made sure it was at the top of the priority, yet you rudely waltz in here, it seems, whenever you feel like it, which makes me think your request perhaps was not so urgent.
No, I guarantee this is definitely a suspect.
At this point, you make your way through a door, and we see a scene similar to what we see in 2049 when Officer K meets with the bald reception clerk in that big open area. And eventually, Quell takes you to a similar area where we see Kay meet up with Love, and she has like the little SATA crystal data thing, that little ball that goes into the computer to kind of check records. So you're in a room similar to that, cold, steel, very oppressive room. There's several monitors and a big keyboard display terminal. And she walks over to it, and she says, "Fortunately, there's not much to go on, since all you have is a description and no sort of serial number. However, I can show you a few things." And she brings up a profile, and she goes through a couple, and eventually, maybe on the second or third one, you see one that looks pretty similar, if not identical, to Styles. She says, "Do any of these match the description of your suspect?"
Yeah, and he'll point to the one that looks similar, if not exactly like Styles. That looks just like him, actually.
Well, afraid to say that this is a Nexus 8 model, so this was before Wallace Corporation truly started developing replicants. We have some records. Not all of them are complete, of course, because of the blackout and Tyrell's meddling and incompetence. I can confirm this is a series of replicants. However, without more specific information, I don't think I'll be able to provide you with anything beyond that.
Right.
If you weren't aware, some replicants are made as a model line. Multiples of the same replicant made over and over that look practically identical. It's less expensive that way to customize them to all be unique, at least in the physical sense.
Okay. Well, Miss Quell, I appreciate that. And since you'd previously asked for updates, it'd be remiss of me not to share. One of these...
She gives you a very pleasant smile.
Yeah. He's very uncomfortable with the creepy business smile. Used to scowls and getting yelled at by his boss. Looks like one of these lines was actually involved in the killing of our Blade Runner. Currently, we suspect it might have been the other Blade Runner that did the shooting.
Her smile quickly turns to a frown. You are telling me you believe that one of the Nexus 9 Blade Runners murdered the other?
That's what we're seeing, but...
Then please indulge me. What does this model, and she points her, motions her hand at the screen, have to do with the investigation? You said it was a suspect. Please elaborate.
Yeah, he was at the scene of the murder. He seemed to instigate the issue with the anti-replicant movement that you had mentioned. They were there. And he is that Skylar is as scummy as you said. But this replicant, going by the name of Styles, seemed to make the situation worse, wade into a fight with a few people, and then one of our Blade Runners ended up dead. Killed by one of our shells.
And you instantly think it was the Blade Runner that pulled the trigger? How do you know this model didn't steal it from her, or one of the anti-replicant people that were there, or Skylar himself?
Possible, but then why did she run?
Most people tend to run when they don't have a weapon and they're being fired upon. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, but then she would have come back to The LAPD. Right?
If she was able to.
Or if she was innocent. She got in a cab pretty quick. Could have taken her here. Or to the LAPD.
Well, for what it's worth, I'll point out that this particular line of replicant, when she turns back to the terminal, is a combat model designed for... what's the best way to put it? A robust endurance, increased capabilities in physical labor and combat.
Almost 7 feet tall when I saw him, so yeah, makes sense.
Sounds like the type of individual that could overpower a Blade Runner, no?
Good. Possible.
She
Now,
goes through a few more things, and then she kind of turns back to you as if expecting you to say more or see what you have to say.
let's say it does end up being the case that one of the Nexus 9s on our side killed Sandor. How would you prefer it be dealt with?
She stares at you blankly for a moment. You can't tell if she's grinning or not. Very hard to tell. She kind of just bores her eyes right into yours for a moment. It makes you very, very uncomfortable. Just the absolute silence and eeriness. Just the hum of the terminal behind you. Finally, she says, "Finally, it seems you're beginning to understand things here, Detective. Should such an anomaly, as unlikely as it is, indeed be what you discover and are positively certain, without a shadow of a doubt, is true, then I would expect the utmost discretion and cooperation. I would expect you to give me those results and that information, that conclusion, directly, personally, so that we can make sure the proper steps are taken."
Well,
You do understand, don't you?
yeah. Think I do. Wouldn't want anything like this getting out to the public and starting another series of unfortunate events.
I see you've done your homework then. I wonder, is your partner, Detective Holbeck, as agreeable as you are? I know that he's been on the force for quite a bit longer than you.
Don't know, and I probably won't ask him while we're on this case.
How can I trust the integrity of the investigation, then, if your whole team is not aligned with our goals?
I can't guarantee that they all would be. But as long as one of us is, should make a difference.
She once again stares at you for a moment in absolute silence, clearly judging you, sizing you up. Let me be blunt here, Detective. You seem to be a smart man. You seem to be, how do they say, picking up what I'm throwing down. We have use for individuals like you. People that we can trust. Especially people in such a unique position as yourself, being a Blade Runner and all. And with your career just getting started, well, cooperation with us, I can absolutely guarantee would see your career be on a rise. Indefinitely, really, should you prove to be the type of person we can work with.
Well,
Mr. Wallace is very particular about everything surrounding the Nexus 9s, as you can imagine. It would be good to have someone we could truly trust in such a position as yours.
That does sound enticing, and I've been known to be a bit of a people pleaser, so I think we could work something out.
I'm very happy to hear that, Detective. Please keep me updated the moment you have any news. I'll send you a private channel that you can securely send things to me directly, encrypted. There'll be no interference. It will be for my eyes and those of Mr. Wallace alone.
All right.
Do you say anything else to her?
It's a pleasure doing business.
She nods her head and says, likewise. Just remember your career, Detective. It could be a shining star, or it could be a snuffed out candle. The choice is really yours.
Not really a choice, then, is there?
There's always a choice, Detective. Some are just better than others. And at that, she walks past you, and she says, they'll see you out now. And, like, from out of nowhere, that replicant appears and is ready to show you back down to where your spinner's parked.
Right? He will exit and go back to his spinner.
Sorry, I should have had this out for everyone to enjoy one last time.
See, she's totally agreeable when you do everything she wants.
Yeah.
Look
Just
at
wanna-
her fucking mug.
I just want to trigger Tyler here.
Oh, I gotta
Understandable.
clean her clock at
He's
the end
having-
of this.
Suffering from PTSD already.
Goodness.
So, while Garrick is talking with the best NPC of the year, really, we will switch over to Violet, hopping in a spinner.
Dare
What's
you
that?
stomp on Zingit's grave like that?
I mean, he's on the ballot for sure, but I don't get this kind of reaction from Zingits like I do with her. So, hold on, I got a cat in my face who wants to. I don't know if you guys heard him earlier. Strigoy's been quite vocal tonight. He wants to play. So, Violet, you hop in your spinner, and you are making your way. I'm sorry, where again?
To Lilith Enterprises or
Lilith
or,
Memory Lab, yes.
Memory Labs.
Okay. So, let me...
Can I'm gonna try reaching Hector again on the way.
No response. No
Can I
answer.
take an intuition test or an insight test?
For what?
He's not answering his phone, and it's been a while.
I don't think you need to make an insight test. I think you can deduce whatever you feel like.
I mean, I feel like, you know, Violet's a detective. If he's not answering, something is probably wrong. And I feel like Violet maybe call Hallbeck, say, hey, Hallbeck, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear from Hector?
No, I'm heading over there now.
Got a bad feeling. I'll reroute and meet you.
No, stay on the memory labs. We need to start looking into this stuff. I'm heading over there now. I'll check it out. I'll keep you
I don't
posted.
say anything and I turn it off.
Classic.
And I don't listen to him. And
We see the spinner bank off towards Anemoid Row.
yeah.
Okay. All right. I love it. That's very, very detective of you. Okay, so, well, I don't need to describe what you were about to see then, so we'll just switch this over to something else. Strigo, you're blocking the path here. Well, let me get the cat out of the way while I do that. Hallbeck, you take your spinner soaring over the city streets, making your way towards Anemoid Row. As you do, you eventually lock on and ping to where his spinner is located, and you find it off on the side of the street here. There's nobody really near it. Nobody's been messing with it or anything, but you do find it.
Okay. Can I think you would just go near it, double check, and make sure that it hasn't been fired up. Like it's pretty cold to the touch.
Yeah, at this point, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. Silas would look around. From where the spinner is, can he see the butterfly shop? The Aurelian?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
If not, it only probably takes a minute or two to find it. Just depends on the angle that he's parked, but you find it fast enough.
Okay, I think, so is it, like the track, is it raining right now?
Yeah, there's pretty much always rain.
Okay, so,
Just a light drizzle. It's not heavy or anything, but
gotcha. Well, Silas would, unholster his piece and just shove both his hands in the pockets of his trench coat and kind of look like he's huddling up against the light rain,
okay.
and head over to the Aurelian and kind of be keeping a sharp eye out while he's walking.
Give me an observation test, please.
Okay. Let's see. That is this one. All right. That's 2 successes that I will accept.
Okay. So, you do not see anything. It's busy here, but you don't see anything out of the ordinary. You instantly can see the sign to the Aurelian shop, and as you're walking by, you hear someone at one of these food kiosks like say to the person they're sitting next to, and they're clearly talking about you as they see you walk by and land the spinner and everything. You hear one of them say like, "Man, a lot of LAPD out here today, huh? Wonder what's going on." And you see the other guy next to him like kind of nod as he's shoveling some noodles into his mouth.
Ooh. So Silas would know he's on the right track. I think, yeah, so still making his way to the butterfly shop. Probably wouldn't go in. Maybe would kind of circle the building, see if there's anything going on behind it.
So there's an alley behind this row of buildings, and then it gets to the end of the block over here in the bottom right-hand corner, and then that goes off the map where the sidewalk goes further into the rest of the neighborhood.
Okay.
But yeah, basically there's an alley that goes behind this row. Some of these places probably have like a back entrance, or you might see like the fire escape metal stairs and ladders that go up to like the apartments and stuff above. But you don't see anything out of the ordinary. Dumpsters and trash cans and things like that, but nothing out of the ordinary.
Is there like a newspaper stand or something nearby?
Yes.
Okay. Just really quick for sort of stealthing's sake, Silas would buy a newspaper and kind of walk with it while looking at it.
Okay, yeah, this is probably like a newsstand or something over here. So you grab one.
Okay.
As you do, you can't help but notice as you turn to the second page, another police spinner lands over by your guys, and you see Violet hop out.
Okay, so Silas would pull the very 1980s move of pushing his glasses down the bridge of his nose and looking over them, like mouth agape,
It's her. Yep.
And
And-
realizing he just wasted money on a fucking newspaper, would roll it up, swipe it under his arm, and just start marching over to her.
All right. You do so.
So not only do you ruin my time out here, you're disobeying me and not going to see the fucking memory lady.
Oh, you're my boss?
I thought I was running point on this.
I mean, to be fair, everybody's been calling him boss, so.
Well, I'm tired of old men telling me what to do. That's not a
Okay.
good idea. Something happened to him. You gonna go there and alone and what? Get done in the same way? Come on, get over yourself. Let's find him.
Realizing arguing is pointless, Silas would sigh and then gesture towards the Aurelian with an arm and say, "After you."
Alright, walk over to the Aurelian.
Okay. You see the shop you saw earlier, or in the late last night, and this time you see the old man.
I go up and introduce myself. Hello, sir. Detective Violet. Let me,
You see that he notices when you walk in. You know, obviously you're not being quiet or anything, and he says, "Oh, hello, detective. How can I help you?"
looking for a fellow detective that may have been in here earlier.
I haven't had any police come in today. I've had a few customers, but you're the first officer to come in.
I give Silas a look. Anyone coming in asking about butterfly wares, looking for a missing person?
I mean, just about everyone that comes in here is asking about butterfly wares.
How about a missing person? Maybe was a customer of yours?
No, nothing about a missing person or anything like that.
Silas would kind of walk forward, hat off, go, "Hello, sir, Inspector Hallbach. Anyone asking?"
You brought a friend. Hello, Inspector. What can I do for you?
Hello. Anyone inquire about maybe blue butterflies today?
As a matter of fact, yes. There was a man in earlier today. Had quite a few questions about them. He showed me a picture that he had. Someone that had purchased one of my pieces said he was looking to get it for a friend, or to get one after his friend had shown it to him. Gave him a little bit of a history lesson, and he stepped out for a call. Eventually he came back and purchased one.
Silas would look to Violet. Sounds like him. So he came back, purchased a butterfly, and then left.
And then he departed, yes.
You wouldn't happen to have noticed which way he left?
I'm afraid not. I don't have much in the way of my eyesight anymore. And you can tell that his eyes are cataract over pretty badly.
Oh, my apologies.
Oh, quite all right. Is everything all right? Is there anything else I could do to help?
Are there any cameras outside that you have that could maybe we could look at? Show us where he may have went?
Not that I have. No, they're too expensive. But there's Esper cameras on some of the corners around here.
Appreciate your time.
No, happy to help. I hope you find your friend.
Yeah, so Holbach would kind of motion for Violet to follow.
I'll walk out, see if there's anyone else around close by we could talk to.
Tons of people out here.
Probably more someone at one of the shops here. So,
Like an owner or an employee?
yeah. Anyone
Okay.
that would have been there during the day, you know. So, go across to this. I mean, to me it makes sense. Check with this stand, and I'll learn my lesson and sit down and buy something to eat or buy something to drink.
Okay. So yeah, you get some prawns and the
Just something small that I could
sure. Yeah.
scarf down or.
Yeah, most of it's meant to be eaten on the go and stuff too. So they start whipping something up and start putting in like one of those little, the like the Chinese rice container you get from a Chinese restaurant, and tells you how much it is. And do you say anything to them or ask them any questions?
Yeah, say, looking for a guy. I guess I'll describe Hector as best I can. I don't know how well I know him that I can describe him, but might look like kind of like a detective-looking guy. Went in and out of the shops around here.
Give me a connections roll with advantage.
Got glasses. All right. I'm sorry. Just you say
Connections
with
roll
advantage.
Yes.
All right. Very good.
Oh.
2 successes.
Yep.
She says, "Oh yeah, I recognize him. He was about to buy something here, but he went over to the noodle shop." And she points to the store next to her.
I see. Well, thanks. I hope you're hungry for some noodles, Halbeck. Go over to the noodle shop. Do the same thing.
Buy from every shop until you get the info.
I mean, it's working.
Okay.
Go
Yeah.
buy kind of noodles you want, Halbeck.
Plainest you can get. And I'll take a tea. He would motion to whoever's behind the counter, like for a tea.
Yeah, coming right up.
When he comes back, I ask him, you see a detective-looking guy with glasses come grab something from here earlier?
Give me
Would
another
have went inside the.
Give me another connection at advantage.
1 success.
He says, yeah, that guy, he sat down and he had some noodles not too long ago. Sat right there, and he points to a now occupied chair.
Did you see which way he may have went when he left?
Yeah, he eventually got up and he started wandering over this way, and he kind of points like down the sidewalk, and yeah, he went off in that direction, and he points basically to the east side of the map here.
Right. Well, that's a start.
And then he finishes up. He's like, "Here's your grub."
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So he points over here.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, let's take a look down this way. See what else is over here.
So you start making your way down the row here, and you see that there are plenty of shops, kiosks, and other, terminals and things like that. Eventually, when you get to the end of the actual map here, that's where the sidewalk then turns south and heads, down the block. Or you can eventually cross the street and get to the other side.
And then, sorry, I forgot how I turn on the. It's the W, right?
Yep.
So we're over here on this side,
Okay.
sort of. I'm guessing. We walk this way.
Yeah.
All right. Your turn, Hallbeck. When you buy something, ask these fish ladies. They seen our guy.
Yeah, so Silas would saddle up. What can we purchase here?
This is an animoid shop. It's for exotic fish and like crustaceans and aquatic mammals. Looks like it's
Jeez.
one of the bigger stores down here.
I'll just buy some food or something,
Yeah,
No,
you
we're
can
at-
get food from one of like these other shops here.
or a
these-
license plate.
yeah, let's maybe go to a place that we can use a purchase to
Okay.
get a connection.
Yeah, give me another connections with advantage.
Okay. Connections. All right.
All right, what do you ask?
So I have a picture of Hector?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'd ask have you seen this flashy suit around here? Might have seen any which way he went.
It's a young girl. She takes a look. She's chewing loudly on, some artificial bubble gum. What do I think here? Oh yeah. Yeah, he was in fact he was following somebody. And yeah, he made his way over here. There was a really tall guy in a black hoodie, and he kind of ducked. It looked like he was getting followed, and he was kind of ducking between people trying to stay low. And then this guy, your friend, he got to the end over here, and craziest thing, some other guy came up behind him, bumped into him, like a shoulder type thing, and they started getting into it, and then the one guy took a swing at him, cracked him right in the face, and took off, and then your buddy went chasing after him, and she points down the way south here, like down the sidewalk.
Oh goodness. Yeah, Silas would look at Violet.
Before we start running that way, while he's talking, I'm just gonna call Sully.
Okay, yeah, you can call him up.
Call him, say, hey,
Yeah, what's going on?
checking
Everything
in,
all right?
checking in like he asked. So,
Thanks. How's the investigation going?
hey, listen, I gotta go, but one of our partners may have went missing. We're down in Animal Row. If you don't hear from me by third shift, give the chief a call.
You see there's a little hesitation in his voice, but he kind of steels himself. He's like, yeah, you got it. Be careful.
All right. I love you.
Love
And
you
I hang
too.
up.
I love... Click. Aw.
All right. Let's get going.
All right, so you guys make your way south down the sidewalk.
Yep.
And eventually, what you see, you're basically just on a regular city block. Tall buildings mostly all around you. Similar across the street. It's just a two-lane road here, nothing fancy. And then there's an alleyway that you come up to on your right-hand side, or you can continue down the sidewalk here.
My instinct says check the alley.
Yeah.
Bad things happen in alleys.
This is true. That's not metagaming. I'll allow that. You make your way down the alley, and it's not very long before you come to a dead end.
We see any signs of a scuffle.
Give me an observation test at disadvantage, since it is drizzling out here a little bit.
One success.
Hallbeck, you may do so as well if you like.
Sorry, disadvantage?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I'll take it.
Well, between the two of you, you do indeed find some quickly running spots of what you're assuming are blood. And you probably, I don't think they would have left any weapons. They probably would have grabbed them. But yeah, you definitely see that. Maybe like, we'll say you probably find like a piece of his suit because he got cut by the knife. So you see like a tatter of his, otherwise nicely dressed suit. And, it matches the color that he was wearing.
Silas would look up. Can I see any of the Esper cams?
Yeah, you probably saw some. There's none in the alley, but you would have seen some outside on the main streets.
Okay,
They
so
usually
like,
don't go into alleys. They usually go over like large public areas to cover as
Right.
much ground as possible. But yeah, there's definitely espers in the area.
okay, so there'd be a way to see like something, whatever entrance or exit to this alleyway, right?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, he would just make a note of that, and I think at this point we would have to call it in. Let Chief know that Hector's gone missing.
All right. So when you say call it in, are you saying you're just going to tell the chief, or like in general, like, hey, dispatch, we've got an officer missing, put out a alert to the team, to the force?
Actually, I would probably call the chief first.
Your favorite.
Yeah.
That should be your shtick. You just call him constantly.
He is just gonna yell at you again.
All right. You call him up on your Kia,
Yep.
and the vid phone comes in. You can only like see like his shoulder as he's obviously out of frame and doing something else, and you just hear from across the desk, "This better be fucking good, Hallbuck."
It's not. I wanted to let you know before I put out the word to dispatch. Hector hasn't returned any of our hails, and we found his spinner and traces of a scuffle, and no Hector. So
Fuck. Find him. Put out the dispatch now.
you got it. And yeah, Silas would hang up and then immediately hail dispatch, let them know we have a Blade Runner missing.
So dispatch in this is actually like it's a DG type AI, and she has quite the attitude. But you have learned over the years that if as long as you're not too demanding with your requests and you treat this AI with respect, she can be very effective. Although she usually gives you a little bit of a lip or sass. But you've been on the force long enough to probably know how to deal with her.
Yeah.
Man, everyone's got an issue with doing their jobs here.
Yeah. What, does dispatch particularly have a name?
I think it's just called dispatch, but let me check.
Okay.
Hunnigan.
No, it's just dispatch. That's like her name.
Okay.
I think there's an image of her in the rulebook too, but she manifests like as like a female AI, kind of like Cortana, like that holographic type look, So you hear the female voice. This is dispatch. Go ahead.
Inspector Silas Holbach was wondering if you could put out a request. We have a missing Blade Runner. Hector, what's Hector's full?
You gotta. Have you been paying attention? You tell me.
Put out. Yeah, missing Blade Runner, Hector Bantoff.
Of course, detective. Would you like that on all channels and frequencies?
Yes, please.
Very good. Just a moment. And then, a couple seconds goes by, and then you guys start getting alerts on your Kias. And Garrick, you get an alert from dispatch, and when you turn it on, you hear dispatch's voice come through. She says, "Attention all units, we have a missing Blade Runner. Missing in action, I repeat, MIA Blade Runner Hector Bantov. Last seen around Anemoid Row, approximately 12:58 p.m. today. Detectives Albeck and Violet Lee currently on scene." And then she goes through a couple other bits of information, probably like about the signs of a struggle. Any additional units, please report to Anemoid Row. And that's how you find out that your friend is missing.
Ah, shit. I should have went with him.
Is there anything else to take a look at, or I guess investigate, or was our roles for the signs of scuffle as much as we were going to find?
You feel, only Hallbuck could have gotten 2 if he rolled a 10. So you did as well as you could, Violet, and he did pretty well.
Yeah.
All things considered, you don't think there's probably much else you can find here. However, I will point out, I think the 3 of you should each take a point of resolve stress damage when you realize that one of your bros is missing in action here.
Okay.
And the 2 of you, Garrick, because like you said, you probably feel a little guilty, and you're finding out about it as you're just like on. There she is. There's dispatch. You find out about it as you're just getting the call like everybody else. And then the 2 of you get a point of stress because you not only find signs that he was here, but you find blood, and you're worried that something bad may have happened to him.
Damn, I am at 2 out of 6 resolve, boys. It's been a rough day for...
You got a lot of resolve.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I was hoping to find a little bit more idea of where they dragged him off to. I guess we can go take a look at the Espers, but I feel like we should still look around the area.
I can't do any more Esper work. I got 0 successes and took like 3 of resolve damage.
Yeah, wait, what kind of tests are those? Those are tech?
Tech, yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, I'm not
Well,
great.
even
And-
if, like, I don't know what we're necessarily going to see. Like, we're going to, see him get beat up and then dragged off camera,
Right.
In my mind, we have to figure out where we can find Styles and his guys. That, or, we investigate. We do go investigate Lilith, see what she has to say, because I feel like she's a linchpin in a lot of this, and then see if anyone else can point us to this replicant underground.
Well, but also would we be able to look at the footage, like say they beat the shit out of him, but loaded him up in a fucking...
Yeah, they probably
Yeah.
loaded him up in something and taken it somewhere.
Yeah. We could track
Yeah,
that.
we might be able to track a vehicle, sure. But I feel like we should do things at least in pairs from now on. I don't think we should, unless it's at the station, but
Mm-hmm.
like I'm not going to go visit Lilith alone just in case something weird happens.
All right, well, at this point, that is going to be the end of the afternoon shift. So we're going to move in now to, as afternoon begins to turn to evening, it starts to get a little darker here in LA. We're going to switch back over to Hector. The 3 of you guys can decide what you're going to do in the meantime. So Hector, you awaken finally, and you're at 1 health. You can put yourself back to 1 health. Actually, it'd be 2 health, because you get a point of health back every shift, and it's been a shift that's passed. You're at 2 health. Your head is throbbing. You're dizzy and disoriented. You feel like you've just got a terrible hangover or headache. although it's obviously not from drinking. When you come to consciousness, you realize that you are in the middle of a room that doesn't seem to have any natural light. It's just the light from outside. Maybe there's one of those advertisement blimps going by with the big spotlights and the big advertisement screen. And you realize that you are tied to an old, shitty chair.
When I come to, are you sure you don't want to talk? It would be so much easier.
Now, when you awaken, and you get a look around yourself, you see that so you find yourself in what looks like an old, dilapidated apartment building, brick crumbling, probably from years ago. And we're talking probably at least over 100 years ago, you're guessing. This place looks fairly old and untouched. Inside, there is what was once some fairly nice, perhaps marble or granite floor. It's lost its shine, it's chipped in places and dusty, damaged by water leaking through the roof. In front of you, to your right, there is an old grand piano that has seen better days. Looks like it probably doesn't work, if at all. It's probably out of tune. To your left, there's an old sofa that has a dirty blanket on it. And in front of that is a circular coffee table with a variety of things scattered about. And then all around you, you can see there are little bits and bobs. There's like little like nightstands or tables. There's a dilapidated dresser and like shelves with like bookshelves and things like that. You do see that there are two doors out of this room, one directly across from you, and then one off to your left in the corner of the room. It also looks like there is an opening. Both doors are double doors, by the way, that you see. They look like they were at one time probably very nice and elaborate. There's a crumbling fireplace on the wall to your left. And then across the room in the right-hand corner, there's an opening. It looks like there were doors there at one point, but they are no longer there. And from where you're at, it looks like there's another room in there. Hard to tell what. There are windows on the side of the wall on your right-hand side. They're raised up. They're not like ground level. So there's light kind of coming in from higher up. And there's what once was a very fancy chandelier above you that is also acting as a light source. There's it's like a lamp almost, and it's got almost like shades around the side. It looks kind of oriental in style and design, and then it's got these like tassel things hanging from the bottom. It's like a circular at the bottom, and inside the middle part of that circular thing is where the light is coming down from. And other than that, it looks like there's, a little desk lamp over on this table over here. I guess they actually have a light beam there. And that's what you see.
Okay. And there's no people in here as far as I can tell.
Well, once you say that, you do hear someone walking and then coming out of the kitchen. And you do see your friend Styles.
Oh, hey, guy.
You see that he's wiping his hands off as he comes in. He says, "Patched you up as best I could." And you can't you can't tell because your hands are bound behind your back on the chair. And then your feet are bound, like each leg is bound to one of the legs of the chair.
Bandages are a little tight.
Yeah, well, I didn't go to med school, so it is what it is.
So, yeah. It's great to finally meet.
I told you to keep your nose out of this business, and you wouldn't listen.
I mean, you said that briefly before hitting me with a baseball bat. It wasn't like,
And
oh,
most
hey.
people get the point, the first
oh,
hit.
oh, hey, keep your nose out of it. And then, like, stepped aside so that I could peacefully walk away.
You had every chance to leave. You didn't take it.
Uh,
Also, your one hand, your left hand is in excruciating pain. You can tell that it's broken.
How are your other guys holding up?
They'll be fine.
Cool.
Look, I don't want to hurt you any more than we already did. All right? I'm not here to kill a cop, Blade Runner. That leads to too much trouble. I just want to know what exactly it is that you want here, and what exactly you know about what's going on here.
A great question. Well, if you're not on board with killing a cop, I think maybe we could help each other out. But of course, I'm looking for my comrade, Leah, who was involved in the incident at the snake pit. But essentially, I'm worried for her safety, and we're just tracking down all leads.
And what's it
Out
to
here
you?
Killing Blade Runners. So obviously have personal interest in making sure that doesn't happen.
Give me a manipulation roll, please. He takes a deep breath. Look, you just need to leave this one alone, all right? Leah's fine.
Fine. You're looking after her then?
Nothing you need to worry about. She's safe. All right? Didn't hurt her. Didn't lay a hand on her. She's in good hands, and you don't need to worry about her anymore. It's best you stop worrying about her.
That's good then. But what happened with Sandor? I mean, if people just wanted to skip town, that can't be that hard.
He kind of shakes his head. I wish I knew the full answer, but I don't. All you need to know is that she's not going to be your problem anymore. So
I guess
by this time tomorrow is you can shut this whole thing down and call it a case closed.
Well, I guess what our problem is then is those Humanity First guys, because they're gonna cause a shitstorm with their whole story. It's this replicant on replicant violence.
Yeah, well, maybe you and yours can do something about that. Maybe do something for us once in a while. You know?
How do you mean?
You're a cop. Make sure they don't talk about it. You probably got Wallace's here too. I'm sure they don't want to hear about that sort of thing.
Oh. I suppose so.
Look, you and I aren't so different, all right? You get it. You get what it's like out here.
Good show.
I know you know what it's like. Even though you're on the force, you got that badge. The looks, the comments, snide remarks, the threats, the hate. Why do you even help these fuckers? And don't give me the "it's because what I'm programmed to do" nonsense. I don't want to hear that shit.
Well, that's sort of complicated, but ultimately, trying to work my way back into a missing persons case. Old mentor of mine went up and disappeared a couple months back. We were working not with the replicant detection division, but in internal affairs at the LAPD. And he disappeared, and they shifted me here so that I couldn't be involved with the investigation.
And yet you're still working with them.
I mean, what? I guess I could just start mugging people. I don't really have a whole lot of general skills.
Yeah, you should tell that to my 2 boys. I think the results beg to differ with that statement.
Could take it under consideration. It won't get me any closer to finding my guy, though. To give it up.
And this friend of yours, is he a replicant too, like us?
I don't believe so.
And why do you care what happens to him?
You can care about somebody even if they're not exactly like you.
Looks like he's mulling that over, as if he's not sure if he believes it or believes you.
Ah, come on. If you thought that, you wouldn't give a Nexus 9 another thought like Leah.
Yeah, she's still a replicant though, right?
They're a little closer, but
6, 7, 8, 9? What's the matter? It's just a number.
well, how many more numbers does it need to be until we're just like human?
I don't think that's ever gonna matter. Humans don't give a fuck about us. We're here to do all their dirty work. Treat us like shit. We're just disposable. We're garbage to them. Trash.
Well, I think you'll find a lot of humans think that about other humans.
Yeah, well, they're not wrong.
Well, it's all relative, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I guess for what it's worth, sorry about your buddy. But, really can't help you there.
Yeah, that's fair. But what you could help me with is getting out of here. Or do we just want to continue chatting until...
Here's the deal,
Another.
Hector. You behave. This time tomorrow, you're free to go. No one's gonna hurt you. No one's gonna kill you. No one's gonna beat you up any more than you already have. You stay here. Don't give us any trouble. We'll let you go. Matter of fact, might even be an open door for you if you want to come back and give your career choice here a real insightful second thought. Could use somebody like you. Could do a lot more help here than you're doing right now with them.
It is a nice place. What is this, 6th floor? 10th? How far up are you here?
We're not that high up. Just an old, forgotten place.
but more than 2.
Looks can be deceiving, detective.
Oh well. Any of y'all play piano?
He turns over his shoulder to look at it. You know, he's sitting on the piano bench. He says, not quite my forte, unfortunately. Not exactly what I was built to do.
Not many were built for art, but it doesn't stop us. Although, my broken hand does stop me. I know it sounds like I'm teeing up a concerto here, but I'll have to disappoint you on that end.
Well, tell you what, you behave. I'll see if I can find one of my guys that might be able to set those bones for you. Or nothing else, get you some meds.
Seeing
Fair?
a real medic would be great.
I'm sorry, what?
Seeing a real medic would be great.
Yeah, well, those are in short supply around here, but you play by our rules. I'll make sure you stay as comfortable as we can. Deal?
Sounds like a good deal.
He stares at you for a moment as if he's appraising you, what your answer might, if you're telling the truth or not. And then he gives you a nod, and looks like he goes back off to that kitchen area. I'll throw you something together to eat. Meanwhile, well, I guess, do you do anything after he leaves?
I guess I'm gonna see if I can look more out the windows. Like, if I can figure out from either blimp lighting or just scooting over and peeking out them how high up we are.
Give me an observation roll, please.
Alrighty.
Or insight, whatever's better.
Oh, we'll definitely do that then. Alright? Yeah.
Okay. With your critical success here, the blimp, for one, seems very high up. You feel like you are probably not very high up, if at all. The windows themselves are high up, but that's the design of this place. They're more decorative than like a normal window. This definitely was a fancy place at some point, but it doesn't seem like you are very high up at all. Also, you recognize the blimp from earlier this afternoon, which would lead you to believe that you're probably still very close to Anemoid Row, or where things went down. You don't feel like you've gone very far.
Okay. That's pretty good. So when you say the windows are not high up, or the windows are high up, but the floor is not high up, I was thinking like a garden apartment window, like 6 or so feet of concrete, and then the window above it, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's like the half circle arched window, and it's like the top half of the circle. That's how the window is shaped. And you can see there's like, what, 4 or 5 of them?
Okay. He's just in the other room.
Yeah, you can hear him. You can hear the sounds in the kitchen. There's some water being poured, and you can hear the clank of some, instruments. Or utensils, I should say.
Okay.
You also notice with your 2 successes there, your critical, you notice that your gear is over on this cupboard, or bookshelf, whatever it is. It's on top. So your blaster, or your gun that you had, your badge, your Kia, and anything else that you have on you. If you've got your wallet, that's probably there too. You do see that the gun, the clip has been taken out. The clip is sitting on the table next to it.
Hold on, I'm definitely not looking up what falling damage might potentially be.
Well, we'll leave Hector to think about what he's going to do and how he's going to get out of this jam. As it begins to, it's definitely becoming evening at this point. And we'll go back to our team really quick here before we call it tonight, as the three of you have put out I guess it's not an APB, but it is APB on a missing person. Yeah. So you put out the call that Hector is MIA. What are the three of you going to do as you plan for the evening shift as it's about to begin?
This is third shift then?
Third shift.
I'm gonna just touch base with Sully and just, say that I'm okay and we're following up and that, he is missing. Just so he doesn't call the chief.
Yeah, he thanks you and says good luck. Hope your friend's okay.
Silas would go up to Violet and say, well, we have the whole LAPD on it now. So could you please maybe think possibly about inquiring as to any of our questions with the memory labs, please, maybe?
Sure.
Thank you.
I love it.
But I'm not going alone. Either
Silas,
you or Garrick is coming with me.
Silas's head would drop and go, then I guess I'm going with you.
All right. Garrick, what are you going to do?
Good question. There aren't really any other leads we need to, pull at, right? That's the lead currently.
The only other thing you would have is you could also check Esper footage and see if you can find anything about what went down here. And I will say, if you do, it will not cost you a promotion point because it's been known and reported what's going on. So they would let you,
Okay. I guess.
You won't have to make, you don't have to spend the promotion point. You probably still have to make the test. You have to make the test to use it, but
it's rough. Okay. I guess that's what Garrick will do, but before they do that, he will talk to Hallbeck. So, just I guess both of you found out that Styles is most likely, almost certainly, a Nexus 8 combat model. He's real dangerous.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I know, right?
you found out before any of us. Super sleuth.
I double check my service weapon as he's saying that.
Yeah. So, did Hallbeck tell us he had made a deal with Skylar, or no?
I don't know. Did you?
I'm asking Kyle.
I did not, no.
Okay, then I don't say anything else.
Okay. So Violet and Hallbeck load up in a spinner, finally head to the memory lab, unless they decide to change route again. And Garrick, you're going to head back to LAPD and see if you can pick up anything on the Esper wall, correct?
Yeah. And is it possible to interact with my signature item during this time of travel, or no?
Let me check.
Just because, if I'm going to the Esper wall, Looking to lose another couple resolve points. I'll fuck up someone else's desk.
Let's see here.
Can I just give Sean a promotion point?
Why?
No, you're not his superior, unfortunately.
We call him boss. I feel like it makes sense.
It does. It definitely does. Especially at least you, because you've been on the force
Like
longer
a
than the
year.
other two.
Yeah.
I think you're like 2 years, right? So yeah, you've been on here a little bit longer, but yeah, it's once per game session.
Okay.
So
And that just gives me a resolve back, or
yes.
cool. We will do that.
And in case it isn't obvious at this point, stress and resolved are used interchangeably in this game.
Yeah.
I think it might have been an oversight by them because it's like called resolve, but everywhere in the text they usually refer to it as stress.
Yeah.
So, same thing.
Okay.
And then, yeah, Matt, you were healed for 1 hit point, and then the other one just came from naturally healing because it's been a shift. That's why you're at 2.
Gotcha.
Does resolve heal naturally like that, or no?
I believe resolve is only when you actually rest
Oh
through
boy.
downtime.
Okay.
Yeah, probably, because otherwise, yeah, it's once per session, so...
Yeah. Well, happens.
Okay. Well, we will call it tonight at that, folks. I wasn't sure if we were going to get through or finish that. I was not expecting Hector to get captured, so that was exciting. But we will definitely, one way or another, come hell or high water, next week will be our 4th and final session as we finish up Electric Dreams and end our time here in the Blade Runner universe for now. So thank you all so much for joining us. I hope you've enjoyed what you've heard so far. Excellent role-playing tonight, guys. Some really cool, very believable stuff with how you guys are reacting to things. So we will see what happens next week. Can they rescue Hector? Can they track down Leah? What will they find out at Lilith's Memory Labs? Well, check in same time, same place next week to find out. Thanks again, and nighty-night.